Hey guys, tonight we're stepping back in time, not to a grand battlefield or a royal coronation, but into the dusty, candle-lit corridors of the Byzantine palace. Imagine the year 980 AD. The air is thick with the scent of old parchment, stale incense, and a faint, lingering aroma of whatever lavish feast was served last night. You're not a fearless warrior or a scheming empress. Oh no, tonight, you are something far more thrilling, far more perilous. You are a Byzantine bureaucrat, tasked with the mind-numbingly precise, unbelievably crucial job of cataloging every single spoon in the Imperial residence. Yes, every spoon. You probably won't survive this, not with your sanity intact anyway. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is for you. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You stand in a small, cramped antechamber, the air surprisingly cool despite the summer heat seeping in from the distant windows. The very walls seem to hum with the quiet industry of the palace, a ceaseless, almost imperceptible thrum of servants scurrying, scribes scratching, and the distant clatter of pots and pans from the Imperial kitchens. Your tunic, a simple linen affair, feels a bit too warm, a slight itch at your collar a minor distraction from the monumental task ahead. Before you on a sturdy, if somewhat scarred, wooden table rests a single, solitary spoon. It's not particularly ornate, just a polished silver serving spoon, its bowl gently curved, its handle adorned with a simple, almost elegant filigree pattern. You pick it up, turning it over in your fingers, feeling the smooth coolness of the metal against your skin. It's heavier than you expected, with a satisfying heft that speaks of quality craftsmanship, a testament to the enduring artistry of Byzantine silversmiths. Your eyes drift to the stacks of ledgers piled precariously on a nearby stool. They are bound in worn leather, their pages yellowed with age, filled with neat, precise script, the meticulous records of generations of bureaucrats before you. This isn't a new task, you realize. This cataloging, this obsessive inventory of every last item, is a tradition as old as the empire itself. It's a testament to the Byzantine love for order, for system, for ensuring that not a single piece of imperial property, no matter how small, goes unaccounted for. You can almost hear the ghost of your predecessor, a stern, bespectacled man named Theophanes, whispering instructions in your ear. Accuracy, my boy, accuracy above all else. You chuckle softly to yourself. Theophanes, bless his meticulous soul, probably dreamt in spreadsheets. You dip your quill into the small, ceramic inkwell, the dark liquid shimmering in the faint light filtering through the high, narrow window. The ink smells faintly of gall nuts and something earthy, a scent that will soon become as familiar to you as your own breath. You carefully unroll a fresh sheet of parchment, its surface surprisingly smooth, a slight rustle as it unfurls. At the top, you carefully inscribe the date, using the elaborate Byzantine calendar, counting from the supposed creation of the world. Today is the first of Hyperbarateos, in the year 6489. You pause, a fleeting thought of the vast sweep of time, the centuries that have passed since the world began, according to this very precise calculation. It's a bit much to contemplate before your first cup of watered-down wine for the day. Your first entry begins. You note the material, silver high purity, then the type, serving spoon. You measure its length with a small brass ruler, carefully noting the precise number of dactyls and uncia. 23 dactyls, 2 uncia. You sketch a small, surprisingly detailed drawing of the spoon, capturing the subtle curve of its bowl, the delicate pattern on its handle. You even make a note of a tiny, almost imperceptible scratch on its surface, a blemish that only a truly dedicated, some might say deranged, bureaucrat would even notice. This scratch, you ponder, could be evidence of a long-forgotten imperial banquet, a particularly spirited argument over the last piece of baklava, or perhaps just a clumsy servant. The possibilities are endless and utterly irrelevant to your task. You repeat the process. Another spoon. This one smaller, clearly a dessert spoon, with a tiny, almost invisible chip on its rim. You sigh. The sheer volume of spoons in this palace is truly astonishing. You've heard whispers of entire vaults dedicated solely to imperial cutlery. Gold spoons, silver spoons, bronze spoons for the lower ranks, ceremonial spoons encrusted with jewels for grand state occasions. Historians still argue whether the Byzantine Empire's meticulous record-keeping was a sign of its incredible efficiency or its suffocating bureaucracy. You lean towards the latter. You imagine the poor soul who had to count every single grain of sand used in the mortar for the Hagia Sophia. Now that would be a job. You can practically hear the sand screaming. As you meticulously record each detail, you start to notice the subtle differences, the minute variations in craftsmanship. Some spoons are clearly mass-produced, churned out by imperial workshops, while others bear the distinct mark of a master artisan, a tiny, almost invisible signature engraved on the back of the handle. You wonder about the lives of these artisans, the countless hours they spent hammering, polishing, engraving. Did they take pride in their work, or was it just another day at the imperial grindstone? Probably a bit of both. You find yourself idly wondering if any of these spoons were used by the legendary Empress Theodora, a woman who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most powerful figures in Byzantine history. You imagine her, perhaps, daintily stirring her morning porridge with one of these very spoons, completely oblivious to the fact that centuries later, a lowly bureaucrat would be meticulously documenting its existence. The thought brings a tiny, almost imperceptible smile to your lips. The sun continues its slow climb, casting a narrow, ever-shifting band of light across your workspace. The air grows warmer, and the distant sounds of the palace become a little more distinct, the shouts of stable hands, the insistent bleating of a goat somewhere in the imperial gardens. You find a spoon that is heavily tarnished, almost black with age. You gently rub at it with the corner of your tunic, and a dull gleam of silver emerges. It's a strange feeling, holding something so ancient, something that has witnessed so much history. You wonder what stories this particular spoon could tell, if only it could speak. Perhaps it saw Emperor Justinian himself, debating legal codes over a late-night snack, or maybe it was just used to scoop out gruel for a hungry guard. The mundane and the magnificent often intertwine in the palace. A small brown mouse scurries across the floor, darting under a pile of discarded scrolls. You jump, startled, and then laugh softly to yourself. Even the palace mice, you muse, probably have their own intricate bureaucratic systems, meticulously cataloging every crumb, every stray seed. You make a mental note to ask the palace steward for a cat, or at least a very large, very hungry snake. You continue your work, the rhythmic dipping of your quill, the scratching of ink on parchment becoming a soothing, almost meditative sound. The sheer repetitive nature of the task could drive one mad, you realize, or it could lull one into a state of quiet contentment. You opt for the latter. Madness, you figure, can wait until you've finished cataloging the imperial toothpicks. Now that will be a challenge. you pick up a spoon that feels different, lighter than the others. Upon closer inspection, you realize it's made of electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver. It has a peculiar, almost ghostly luminescence. Electrum, you recall from your basic studies, was sometimes used for ceremonial objects, or even for currency in earlier times. This spoon, then, might have a more significant history than its plain appearance suggests. Perhaps it was used in some obscure religious ritual, a forgotten rite involving imperial blessings and very specific spoon-based gestures. You add a special note in your ledger, highlighting its unique composition. Electrum, unusual alloy. You imagine future scholars poring over your meticulous records, debating the exact purpose of this particular electrum spoon. Was it for stirring holy water, or perhaps just a particularly fancy way to eat porridge on Tuesdays? The mysteries of the Byzantine palace are truly endless, and endlessly spoon-related. The methodical rhythm of your work continues. You've now moved on from the initial pile of general serving spoons and are beginning to delve into what appear to be more specialized implements. A tiny spoon, barely larger than your thumb, catches your eye. Its delicate bowl is exquisitely shaped, clearly designed for something refined, something precise. You hold it up to the faint light, a tiny glint illuminating its polished surface. This, you deduce, must be for tasting, perhaps for the Imperial wine steward to sample the various vintages before they are deemed fit for the Emperor's palate. Or maybe it's for tasting particularly potent concoctions of medicine, a tiny, bitter sip to ensure the dose is correct. You can almost see a nervous court physician, his brow furrowed, using this very spoon to administer a remedy to a sickly noble. You meticulously measure its diminutive length, record its weight, astonishingly light, and sketch its intricate form. You note the absence of any significant ornamentation, a stark contrast to the more flamboyant serving spoons. Practicality, you surmise, was paramount for such an instrument. It's a testament to the Byzantine pragmatism, even amidst all the imperial opulence. Everything had a purpose, even a tiny spoon. You muse, perhaps, that even in the most extravagant palace, someone somewhere was always thinking about the most efficient way to scoop something tiny. It gives you a strange sense of kinship with your predecessors. You're all just tiny cogs in the magnificent, spoon-filled machine of the empire. As you continue, you encounter a cluster of spoons that are clearly part of a set. They are identical in design, each bearing the same distinctive crest, a stylized double-headed eagle, the emblem of the Byzantine Empire. These, you realize, are for the imperial dining table, used when the emperor himself hosts banquets for foreign dignitaries or celebrates significant victories. You imagine the grand hall, filled with the murmur of voices, the clinking of glasses, the soft scrape of these very spoons against gilded plates. The air would be thick with the aroma of roasted meats, exotic spices, and the heavy perfume of the court ladies. It must have been a truly magnificent spectacle, a feast for the senses, and an opportunity for subtle displays of imperial power and wealth. You carefully count the set, 12 spoons. You note the condition of each, a few with minor scratches, evidence of countless meals and the occasional overly enthusiastic diner. One spoon, however, has a distinct dent in its bowl, as if it had been dropped from a great height or perhaps used to pry open a stubborn jar of pickled quails. You make a special note of this anomaly. Slight dent, possibly impact damage. You wonder what happened. Was it a clumsy servant, a disgruntled guest? Or perhaps, as you darkly consider, a secret message passed during a tense diplomatic dinner, subtly tapped out with a spoon. The palace, you know, is a nest of intrigue and whispers. Even the spoons might hold secrets. A particularly large and heavy spoon comes next. Its bowl is wide and shallow, almost like a small scoop. This, you think, is clearly for serving grains, or perhaps thick stews. You can almost feel the weight of a hearty portion of lentil soup in its bowl, a staple of the Byzantine diet, especially among the common people. It's a stark reminder that even within the opulent walls of the palace, practical, nourishing food was a necessity. Not every meal was a delicate confection or an exotic delicacy. Sometimes, you just needed a good, solid spoon to get a good, solid meal into you. It reminds you of your grandmother's insistence on a proper, sturdy spoon for her famous bean stew. None of those flimsy things, she'd always say. They bend with the first good scoop. You discover a small, almost invisible inscription on the underside of one of the spoons in the Imperial set. It's a tiny, elegant monogram, barely discernible without holding it directly under the light. You lean closer, squinting. It appears to be the initial M intertwined with a T. You rack your brain trying to recall any emperors or empresses with those initials. Michael, Theodora. It's a tantalizing mystery, a tiny whisper from the past. Historians still argue about the precise meaning of many such monograms found on Byzantine artifacts. Were they personal marks of ownership, or simply a workshop signature? You add a detailed sketch of the monogram to your entry, hoping that one day, some future scholar will stumble upon your meticulous records and perhaps unravel this tiny, spoon-related enigma. You find yourself chuckling at the sheer absurdity of your task. Who, in their right mind, would catalog every single spoon? Yet here you are, a tiny cog in a vast, ancient machine, diligently carrying out your duty. It's almost comforting, this meticulous dedication to order. In a world often chaotic and unpredictable, where empires rise and fall, where plagues sweep through cities, and barbarians lurk at the borders, at least the spoons are accounted for. You imagine a future where humanity has forgotten how to build magnificent cathedrals or compose epic poems, but your meticulous spoon ledger, perfectly preserved, still stands. They knew their spoons, future historians will marvel. Truly, they were masters of cutlery. A sudden sharp cry from outside the antechamber startles you. It sounds like a peacock, one of the many exotic birds kept in the Imperial gardens, expressing its displeasure at something. You smile. Even the Imperial wildlife seems to have its own opinions. You return to your task, the momentary distraction fading as you focus on the next spoon. This one is made of bronze, its surface dull with verdigris, clearly much older than the others. It feels rougher, less refined in your hands. This, you suspect, dates from an earlier period, perhaps even the time of Constantine the Great, the very founder of Constantinople. To hold something so ancient, to know it has touched the lips of generations long past, is a strangely humbling experience. You note the bronze's composition, its slight pitting, the faint ghost of a pattern that has almost entirely worn away. This spoon, you realize, has truly seen history unfold. It has witnessed the rise and fall of dynasties, the shifting tides of power, the countless dramas played out within these very walls. It's more than just a piece of metal. It's a silent observer, a repository of forgotten moments. You imagine it being used at a simple soldier's meal, a quick bite before marching off to war. Or perhaps by a young imperial prince, eager to finish his gruel and go play. The humblest objects often carry the most profound stories, waiting to be rediscovered by those with the patience to look. The light outside is beginning to mellow, casting long, soft shadows across your workspace. The day, like the spoons, is slowly progressing. You find another bronze spoon, this one much larger, almost a ladle. It has a curious, almost triangular bowl. You've never seen a spoon quite like it. You meticulously sketch its unusual shape, adding a note. Unusual form, possible specialized use. Perhaps it was for serving a particular type of Byzantine pastry, or a specific kind of gruel that required a unique scooping mechanism. Or maybe, just maybe, it was an early prototype for a truly bizarre, spoon-based musical instrument. Historians still debate the exact function of many peculiar Byzantine implements. You're just adding another enigma to the list. You imagine a group of scholars in the future, passionately arguing over the triangle spoon debate. It sounds like a lively academic conference. You gently place the unusual bronze ladle back onto the table, its metallic clang surprisingly loud in the quiet room. Your fingers, though not yet calloused, are beginning to feel the slight ache of repetition, the subtle strain of holding and turning countless pieces of cutlery. You stretch your fingers, flexing them to ease the stiffness. The thought crosses your mind that perhaps the Byzantines, with their passion for elaborate mosaic floors, might have benefited from having ergonomically designed spoon cataloging furniture. But then again, comfort was probably not high on the list of priorities for Imperial bureaucrats. Efficiency, yes. Back health, probably not. Your gaze falls upon a small wooden box that you hadn't noticed before, tucked away beneath a pile of older, dustier ledgers. You pull it out, the wood surprisingly smooth beneath your fingertips, a faint scent of cedar emanating from it. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, are 3 spoons unlike any you've seen so far. These are not metal. These are carved from bone, meticulously polished to a creamy, almost translucent sheen. They are smaller than the others, with incredibly delicate bowls and handles that are intricately carved with what appear to be miniature animals. A tiny bird, a leaping dolphin, and a coiled serpent. You carefully lift one, the bone remarkably light in your hand, almost ethereal. The craftsmanship is exquisite, each tiny detail of the carving rendered with astonishing precision. These are clearly not for everyday use. You imagine them being used for delicate desserts, perhaps a fragrant rosewater jelly, or for spooning out tiny portions of exotic spices. Or maybe, you muse, they were used during some arcane court ceremony, a symbolic gesture involving bone spoons and whispers. You make a detailed entry, emphasizing their unique material and the artistry of their carving. Bone, exquisitely carved. You wonder who carved them. Was it a highly skilled artisan, perhaps even a monastic craftsman, dedicating years to mastering this delicate art? You find yourself pondering the practicalities of bone spoons. Were they durable? Did they impart any flavor to the food? These are questions, you realize, that no Imperial ledger will ever answer. But they are fascinating nonetheless. You add a note about their probable fragility and ceremonial use. The fact that they are so well preserved suggests they were rarely used, or at least handled with extreme care. You imagine a nervous servant, tasked with washing these delicate bone spoons, their heart pounding with the fear of accidentally chipping a wing off the tiny carved bird. The pressure of Imperial service, you realize, extends even to the dishwashers. Moving on, you encounter a series of spoons that are clearly made for travel. They are smaller, more compact, and some even have hinged handles that allow them to fold in half, making them easy to carry in a small pouch. They are made of sturdy bronze or iron, designed for practicality rather than display. You envision Imperial envoys, generals on campaign, or even wealthy merchants, carrying these very spoons as they traverse the vast Byzantine Empire. They are a tangible link to the movements and adventures of the people who served the empire. A general, after a long day of strategizing and marching, would probably appreciate a spoon that didn't take up too much space in his pack. No room for frilly ladles on the battlefield, my boy. You can almost hear a gruff general exclaim. You note the wear and tear on these travel spoons, scratches, dents, and the dull patina of countless journeys. They tell a story of a mobile, dynamic empire, an empire where people were constantly on the move, carrying their essential tools with them. It's a nice contrast to the stationary opulence of the palace, a reminder that the Byzantine Empire was not just about grand ceremonies and gilded domes, but also about the practicalities of daily life, about movement, and about getting things done, even if it meant eating your stew on horseback. You wonder if any of these spoons were used during the famous Varangian Guards' travels, those fierce Viking mercenaries who served the Byzantine emperors. Imagine a burly Norseman carefully folding his travel spoon after a meal of questionable Byzantine gruel. It's an image that amuses you. Your fingers brush against something smooth and cool. It's a spoon made of glass. You blink, surprised. Glass was known in the Byzantine Empire, of course, used for windows, mosaics, and delicate vessels, but a spoon. It seems impractical, fragile. You hold it up, the glass catching the light, shimmering with an almost ethereal glow. It's a deep, rich cobalt blue, and its bowl is remarkably thin. This, you decide, must be a novelty item, or perhaps for very specific, delicate uses, where no metallic taste was desired. Perhaps for testing poisons, you morbidly consider, quickly dismissing the thought, probably just for an extremely particular type of custard. You meticulously record its material, its color, and its surprising lightness. You make a note about its probable fragility and its likely ceremonial or highly specialized purpose. Historians still debate the exact extent of glass usage in Byzantine everyday life. Was it more common than we think, or was it a luxury reserved for the elite? This single glass spoon, you realize, offers a tiny piece of evidence in that ongoing scholarly discussion. You imagine a Byzantine nobleman trying to eat his breakfast with a glass spoon, constantly worried about shattering it. Careful, Eustace, that's my good glass spoon. As the afternoon wears on, a new, subtle scent begins to permeate the antechamber. The faint, sweet aroma of baking bread from the palace kitchens. It's a welcome distraction, a comforting smell that momentarily transports you from the world of spoons to the more immediate realities of hunger. You realize you haven't eaten since early morning, and your stomach gives a polite rumble of protest. You briefly consider whether there's an Imperial department for cataloging the various types of bread produced in the palace. Probably, you muse. And someone, somewhere, is probably currently counting every single sesame seed on every single loaf. You pick up a spoon that feels almost impossibly heavy. It's made of solid gold. Your eyes widen slightly. While you expected to find gold spoons, the sheer weight of this one is astonishing. It's not ornate, surprisingly, just pure, unadorned gold polished to a brilliant sheen. This is not about artistic display. This is about raw, unadulterated wealth. This spoon screams, "I am rich," without uttering a single word. You carefully weigh it, the small scale groaning under its impressive mass. The number you record is significant. This spoon alone could probably feed a small village for a month. You imagine the emperor or a high-ranking dignitary using this very spoon. It's a tangible symbol of the empire's immense resources, its ability to command vast wealth and transform it into even the most mundane of objects. This spoon is not just a utensil, it's a statement, a declaration of imperial power. And here you are, a humble bureaucrat, tasked with simply writing down its dimensions. It's a strange irony, you reflect. The most powerful objects in the world, reduced to numbers in a dusty ledger. You make a mental note to check your own humble wooden spoon when you get home. It might not be gold, but at least it won't break if you drop it. The golden spoon, still warm from your touch, rests heavily on the scale before you. Its weight, almost disconcerting in its opulence, is carefully transcribed into your ledger. You imagine the countless transactions, the taxes collected, the trade routes exploited, all culminating in this single glittering object. It's a material manifestation of an entire empire's economic might, a symbol so potent it almost hums with unspoken power. You decide that if you were ever to be shipwrecked on a desert island, you'd rather have a good, sharp knife than this spoon. Although, if it was really a desert island, the gold might come in handy for signaling passing ships. Or for bribing particularly resourceful seagulls. You push the golden spoon aside, the brief surge of awe fading as you refocus on the task. Next, you encounter a collection of spoons that are clearly designed for children. They are smaller, with blunted edges and charming, simplified animal figures carved into their handles, a plump pigeon, a playful goat, a wise-looking owl. They are made of polished wood or smoothed bone, materials that would be gentle on delicate gums and easily replaced if lost or broken. You imagine tiny hands grasping these spoons, little mouths making happy slurping sounds. These spoons, you realize, offer a glimpse into the domestic life of the imperial family, a rare peek behind the grand ceremonies and political machinations. Even emperors, you muse, had to contend with messy eaters and the occasional flung spoonful of pureed carrots. These simple, charming spoons speak of a universal experience, a reminder that even in the most powerful households, there was a quiet, private world of nurseries and childhood innocence. You wonder if any of these belong to the emperor's own children. Did they complain about their vegetables just like any other child? Probably, you decide. Power doesn't make broccoli taste better. You find one wooden spoon with a distinct chew mark on its handle. A child, perhaps teething, had clearly taken a liking to it. You smile. It's a tiny human detail, a small rebellion against the rigid order of the palace. You make a note of the gnaw marks, likely from infant. It's probably the most personal observation you've made all day. You imagine the exasperated nursemaid trying to gently pry the spoon from the determined grip of a royal toddler. It's a scene that transcends centuries, a moment of universal childcare chaos. The next group of spoons presents a new challenge. Spoons with very long handles and incredibly small, shallow bowls. You hold one up, testing its balance. They are clearly designed for reaching into deep jars, perhaps for spices, or for extracting the last precious drops of oil from an amphora. You envision a palace cook, diligently preparing a complex dish, using one of these specialized spoons to add a tiny pinch of saffron or a delicate drizzle of rare olive oil. Precision, you realize, was as important in the Byzantine kitchen as it was in the imperial treasury. You record their unusual dimensions and note their probable use in the culinary arts. Historians still debate the exact composition of many Byzantine dishes, and these specialized spoons offer a tantalizing clue into the methods and ingredients used. Were there secret imperial spice blends that only these particular spoons could adequately manage? You imagine a fiercely guarded imperial recipe, passed down through generations, requiring exactly one small spoonful of dragon's breath powder, scooped with the long-handled bronze spoon. It makes you hungry for secrets, and perhaps a small spoonful of something tasty. A fleeting thought crosses your mind. What if the Byzantines had developed some sort of spoon-based communication system? Different types of spoons, arranged in a specific order, conveying secret messages. It's an absurd idea, you know, but the sheer number and variety of spoons in this palace makes anything seem possible. Perhaps a particularly ornate dessert spoon signified danger, while a simple wooden one meant all clear, extra honey for dessert. You chuckle at the image. The complexity of Byzantine court intrigue, expressed through cutlery. You encounter a spoon made of a dark, almost black metal, surprisingly light for its appearance. You rub at it with your thumb and a faint, purplish sheen emerges. It's lead. You frown. While lead was used in ancient times for pipes and other construction, it was known even then to be poisonous. Why would there be a lead spoon in the Imperial palace? Perhaps it was used for a non-consumable purpose, for measuring pigments or for some industrial process. Or more disturbingly, perhaps it was used for something more sinister, a subtle means of disposing of unwanted rivals. You quickly dismiss the morbid thought. It's probably just a very old, very ill-advised piece of Imperial kitchen equipment that someone forgot to throw out. Still, you make a note. Lead, toxic, likely not for food. You don't want to be responsible for any future royal lead poisoning incidents. The afternoon sun, now lower in the sky, casts a warm, golden glow through the window, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. The palace outside seems to be winding down for the day, the sounds of activity gradually lessening. You hear the distant calls of vendors in the hippodrome, their voices echoing faintly through the thick walls. You stretch again, a long, satisfying stretch that loosens the muscles in your back and shoulders. Your eyes, though weary, are still sharp, still seeking out the minute details of each spoon. You pick up a spoon, and that is heavily tarnished, almost beyond recognition. But beneath the grime, you can discern faint traces of intricate enamel work. You gently, carefully begin to clean a small section with a soft cloth you keep for such purposes. As the dirt gives way, vibrant colors emerge. Deep blues, emerald greens, and a startling ruby red. It's a truly magnificent piece, a miniature work of art. Byzantine enamel work was renowned throughout the world, a painstaking process of fusing powdered glass onto metal to create dazzling, jewel-like designs. This spoon, you realize, was not just a utensil. It was a testament to the empire's artistic prowess, a miniature canvas for the master craftsman. You note the specific colors, the intricate patterns, the remarkable preservation of the enamel despite the years of neglect. You imagine it being used at a grand imperial reception, sparkling under the flickering candlelight, admired by all who saw it. It's a moment of unexpected beauty amidst the relentless cataloging. It almost makes you forget the lead spoon. Almost. The enameled spoon, now partially cleaned, glows with a muted brilliance on your table, a silent testament to the artistic genius of the Byzantine Empire. You carefully return it to its designated spot, making a mental note to recommend a thorough, professional cleaning for it. It deserves to be seen in its full glory, not hidden beneath centuries of grime. You can practically hear the enamel artisans of old proudly declaring, "My spoon, my masterpiece." Your hands, now accustomed to the feel of various metals and materials, instinctively reach for the next item. It's a cluster of spoons, all remarkably similar in design, but each with a tiny, almost imperceptible difference. You notice subtle variations in the curve of the handle, the depth of the bowl, the angle of the tip. These, you deduce, are spoons from different Imperial workshops, each with its own slight stylistic quirks, its own signature touch. It's like finding slight variations in handwriting, revealing the individual behind the standardized product. You meticulously record these minute differences, assigning each variation a unique identifier. This level of detail, will be invaluable to future historians attempting to trace the provenance of Imperial artifacts or to understand the organization of Byzantine manufacturing. It's a bit like being a detective, searching for clues in the most mundane of objects. You imagine a future scholar poring over your ledgers, excitedly proclaiming, "Aha! This spoon with its slightly flatter bowl must have come from the Thracian workshop, not the one in Constantinople." You nod sagely to yourself. Your work truly is groundbreaking. As you continue, you come across a spoon that has clearly been repaired. A delicate crack runs through its handle, but it has been meticulously mended with a fine silver wire, almost invisibly stitched into the metal. It's a testament to the value placed on these objects, even the more common ones. They weren't simply discarded if damaged. They were repaired, often with considerable skill. This speaks of a culture that valued resourcefulness, that understood the importance of preserving what they had, rather than simply replacing it. You make a note of the repair, sketching the intricate wirework. Mended silver wire. You wonder about the circumstances of the damage. Was it dropped during a particularly boisterous Imperial feast? Or perhaps, as you darkly consider, used as a weapon in a subtle spoon-based duel of wits? The possibilities are endless. This repaired spoon, you realize, tells a small story of its own, a story of breakage and restoration, of resilience in the face of minor adversity. It's a good metaphor for the Byzantine Empire itself, constantly facing challenges, constantly finding ways to mend and rebuild. The light outside is fading now, the golden glow of the afternoon giving way to the softer, more diffuse light of early evening. The air in the antechamber has grown cooler, and a faint draft stirs the edges of your parchment. You hear the distant calls of the palace guards, their voices echoing through the vast corridors as they prepare for the night watch. You shiver slightly, not from cold, but from the quiet solemnity of the approaching darkness. You find a spoon that is entirely plain, completely unadorned, made of a dull gray metal. It looks almost industrial. It's the antithesis of the opulent gold and exquisite enamel you've seen. This, you surmise, is a servant's spoon, a utilitarian object designed for pure function, with no thought given to aesthetics. It's a stark reminder of the vast social hierarchy within the palace, the clear distinction between those who served and those who were served. You record its simple material and lack of ornamentation. Plain metal, likely servant's issue. You imagine the countless nameless hands that have held this spoon, the untold meals it has witnessed, from humble gruel to the discarded scraps of an imperial feast. It's a spoon of the silent majority, a testament to the unseen labor that kept the grand machinery of the palace running. And yet, here it is, meticulously catalogued alongside its more illustrious counterparts. Even the humblest spoon, you realize, has its place in the imperial inventory. A thought strikes you. What if the emperor himself, in a moment of playful humility, had once used a servant's spoon? Perhaps on a day when he felt particularly down to earth. You chuckle at the image of the emperor, spoon in hand, declaring, "This, my friends, is how the common folk eat, and it's surprisingly efficient." The Byzantines, despite their strict protocol, were known for occasional acts of surprising informality. Or perhaps not. Probably not. You come across a spoon that is clearly a fake. It's plated, not solid, with a thin layer of silver flaking away to reveal a base metal beneath. It's a crude imitation, clearly meant to deceive, to pass itself off as something more valuable than it is. You frown. Even in the meticulous world of Imperial spoons, there are imposters. You wonder who tried to pass this off and why. Was it a clumsy attempt at theft, or simply a poorly made replacement? You make a detailed note of its fraudulent nature. Plated, not solid, fraudulent. You imagine the palace steward, a stern, unyielding man with a very keen eye for detail, discovering this fake spoon with a look of utter outrage. An imposter, in my cutlery. Historians still debate the extent of counterfeiting in the Byzantine Empire. Was it a widespread problem, or merely an occasional nuisance? This single fake spoon offers a small, tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You wonder if there was an Imperial department dedicated solely to the detection of counterfeit spoons. Probably. The last spoon for the day, as the light continues to dim, is a surprisingly elegant one, made of polished brass. It has a distinctive, almost Art Deco-like swirl on its handle, a design that feels surprisingly modern for a Byzantine artifact. It's not as opulent as gold or silver, but it has a quiet dignity, a humble beauty. Brass, you recall, was often used for utilitarian objects, but this spoon elevates it to something more. You record its material and its unusual, graceful design. Brass, elegant, distinctive swirl. You imagine it being used by a scholar in the Imperial Library, stirring his ink, or by an astronomer, marking positions on a star chart. It's a spoon of quiet contemplation, of intellectual pursuits, a reminder that the Byzantine Empire was not just a center of political power and military might, but also a beacon of learning and culture. You yawn, a wide, bone-deep yawn that signals the end of your day's work. The spoons, it seems, have shared their stories, and now they and you can rest. As the last vestiges of twilight fade from the antechamber, replaced by the soft, flickering glow of the single oil lamp you've lit, a profound silence settles over the room. The rhythmic scratching of your quill is the only sound, a soothing counterpoint to the quiet breathing of the palace around you. Your mind, though tired, feels sharper, more attuned to the subtle narratives etched into each piece of metal, wood, or bone. You've become a connoisseur of cutlery, a master of spoon lore. You stretch, the small creaks in your joints echoing faintly in the stillness. It's late, but the mountain of spoons still awaiting your meticulous inspection looms large. You pull a fresh ledger towards you, the crisp, clean parchment a stark contrast to the worn, ink-stained pages of your previous volumes. Tonight, you decide, is the night for the truly unusual, the spoons that defy easy categorization, the outliers that challenge your meticulously established system. Your fingers close around a spoon made entirely of rock crystal. It's astonishingly clear, almost invisible against the dark wood of the table, shimmering with internal facets that catch the lamplight and scatter it into tiny rainbows. This isn't just a utensil, it's a jewel, a work of art so delicate it seems to defy gravity. You hold it up, marveling at its purity, its cool, smooth surface. Rock crystal was incredibly difficult to work with, requiring immense skill and patience from the artisans. You make a detailed entry, emphasizing its material and exquisite craftsmanship. Rock crystal, exceptionally clear, highly delicate. You imagine it being used for a truly sacred purpose, perhaps during a religious ceremony in the Hagia Sophia, or for serving a particularly precious, perhaps even symbolic, liquid. It certainly wasn't for daily gruel. You envision a nervous priest, his hands trembling slightly, using this very spoon to administer a blessed anointing oil. This spoon, you realize, is less about eating and more about reverence. You then stumble upon a set of spoons made of intricately carved ivory. Each handle is a miniature masterpiece depicting scenes from classical mythology. Zeus wielding his thunderbolt, Athena emerging from the head of her father, a playful scene of Cupids dancing. The ivory is yellowed with age, but the carvings retain their astonishing detail, the tiny figures brought to life with remarkable skill. These, you realize, are more than just spoons. They are storytelling devices, miniature sculptures meant to entertain and educate. You meticulously record the material and the specific mythological scenes depicted on each handle. Ivory, classical mythological carvings. You imagine them being used during leisurely palace dinners, where guests would not only enjoy the food, but also admire the artistry of the cutlery, perhaps even sparking conversations about the epic tales they represented. Historians still argue about the extent to which classical pagan imagery persisted in the Christianized Byzantine Empire. These ivory spoons offer a fascinating glimpse into that complex cultural tapestry, a subtle blending of old and new. Your eye catches a spoon that is surprisingly short and stout, with a very deep, almost cylindrical bowl. It's made of a heavy, dark wood, perhaps ebony. This, you surmise, is a measuring spoon, used for precise quantities of ingredients in the imperial kitchens or the palace apothecaries. The depth of the bowl suggests a specific volume, an ancient form of standardization. You imagine a Byzantine pharmacist, meticulously measuring out potent herbs and compounds with this very spoon, concocting remedies for the ailments of the imperial court. You measure its precise dimensions, carefully noting the depth of the bowl. Ebony, deep cylindrical bowl, likely for precise measurement. You consider the implications of such precision in an era before standardized weights and measures were widespread. It speaks of a sophisticated understanding of chemistry and medicine within the Byzantine world, a dedication to accuracy, even in the seemingly mundane tasks of measuring ingredients. You wish you had a spoon like this for your morning coffee. So much easier than guessing. A sudden gust of wind rattles the shutters of the distant window, sending a shower of dust motes dancing in the lamplight. The flame flickers precariously for a moment, then steadies. You shiver, pulling your tunic a little tighter. The palace, you realize, is a vast, ancient entity breathing and shifting around you, full of forgotten whispers and unseen movements. It's easy to feel small and insignificant in its shadow, yet your meticulous work gives you a quiet sense of purpose, a connection to the enduring legacy of this place. You then encounter a spoon with an incredibly thin, almost blade-like handle, and a very small, pointed bowl. This, you realize with a jolt, is a surgical spoon, likely used by the imperial physicians for delicate procedures, for extracting small foreign objects, or for applying precise amounts of salves to wounds. It's a stark reminder that the palace was not just a place of luxury and power, but also a place where life and death were constantly at play, where medical knowledge, however rudimentary by modern standards, was a vital necessity. You carefully record its unusual shape and probable medical application. Surgical, very fine, pointed bowl. You imagine the scene. A patient on a rudimentary operating table, the physician's steady hand guiding this very spoon. It's a sobering thought, a glimpse into the harsher realities of Byzantine life, where even the most privileged face the specter of illness and injury. And here you are, calmly cataloging the instrument of their treatment. The contrast is almost unsettling. Finally, as the oil in your lamp begins to dwindle, casting longer, more dramatic shadows, you come across a spoon that is entirely unidentifiable. It's made of a strange, dull gray metal that you don't recognize, its shape oddly asymmetric, almost organic. It has no discernible bowl, just a slight depression, and its handle seems to twist and turn in an almost serpentine fashion. You turn it over and over in your hand, bewildered. You tentatively make an entry describing its appearance as accurately as possible, but leaving its purpose a complete mystery. Unknown metal, asymmetric, no discernible bowl, purpose unknown. You imagine this spoon being the subject of endless academic debates in the future, a true archaeological enigma. Was it a failed experiment, a forgotten ceremonial object? Or perhaps, as you playfully consider, a spoon from another dimension, accidentally left behind by a time-traveling Byzantine bureaucrat from the future. It's a fun thought to end the day on. The palace, you realize, still holds its secrets, even from the most dedicated of spoon catalogers. The unidentifiable spoon, a silent enigma, rests on your table as the oil lamp casts its final, sputtering light. You decide to leave it for Tom. Oro, a mysterious appetizer to the day's tasks. For now, your eyes feel heavy, and your mind, though stimulated by the day's discoveries, yearns for the sweet release of sleep. You carefully extinguish the lamp, plunging the antechamber into near darkness, save for the faint moonlight filtering through the high window. The silence is profound, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. You return early the next morning, the air still cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of dew-kissed stone. The palace is slowly rousing itself, the first stirrings of activity echoing through the vast halls. You relight your lamp, its warm glow a comforting presence in the pre-dawn gloom. You begin by reviewing your entries from the previous night, particularly the enigmatic asymmetric spoon. Perhaps, with fresh eyes, its purpose will reveal itself. But no, it remains a puzzle, a stubborn piece of the historical jigsaw that refuses to fit. You move on to a new section of the storage area, where a different class of spoons awaits. These are clearly religious, or at least ceremonial, spoons. The first one you pick up is made of silver, its bowl deeply fluted, its handle ending in a tiny, meticulously crafted cross. This, you realize, is a communion spoon, used in the Eastern Orthodox liturgy to administer the consecrated bread and wine to the faithful. It's a tangible link to the profound spiritual life of the Byzantine Empire, a constant presence in the lives of its citizens, from the humblest peasant to the mighty emperor. You record its material, its fluted bowl, and the presence of the cross. Silver, fluted liturgical use. You imagine it being used in a grand cathedral, the chanting of the priests, the solemn procession, the deep reverence of the congregation. It's a powerful object, imbued with centuries of prayer and devotion. You can almost feel the weight of its spiritual significance in your hand. Historians still debate the evolution of liturgical practices in Byzantium. This spoon, you realize, offers a small, quiet insight into the material culture of Byzantine worship. Next, you find a set of small, almost spoon-like implements, but their bowls are perforated, like miniature sieves. You pick one up, examining the intricate pattern of tiny holes. These, you surmise, are for sprinkling holy water, or perhaps for sifting sacred incense. They are made of bronze, some with slight traces of green patina, indicating their age. They speak of ritual, of purification, of the meticulous details that characterized Byzantine religious life. You describe their perforated bowls and their probable use in religious rites. Bronze, perforated ritual sprinkling. You imagine the priests, in their ornate vestments, carefully sprinkling holy water over the congregation, or gently sifting fragrant incense over burning coals, filling the air with a sweet, mystical aroma. It's a multi-sensory experience, designed to uplift the soul and connect the earthly realm with the divine. And these tiny, perforated spoons were an essential part of that experience. You briefly wonder if there was a spoon-cleaning guild, specifically for these delicate ritual implements. Probably. Your attention is drawn to a spoon that is remarkably plain, made of simple iron, but its handle is wrapped tightly in worn leather. It feels utilitarian, almost rustic. This, you realize, is likely a monastic spoon, used by the monks in the vast monasteries that dotted the Byzantine landscape. It speaks of austerity, of simplicity, of a life dedicated to spiritual contemplation and manual labor. It's a stark contrast to the opulent spoons of the palace, yet it carries its own quiet dignity. You note its iron material and the leather-wrapped handle. Iron, leather-wrapped monastic use. You imagine a monk, perhaps in a remote mountain monastery, eating his simple meal of bread and vegetables with this very spoon, his thoughts turned towards prayer and scripture. It's a reminder of the diverse facets of Byzantine society, from the glittering court to the secluded hermitages, each with its own unique material culture, even when it came to spoons. You wonder if they ever had spoon-swap days between monasteries just for variety. You chuckle at the thought. A peculiar spoon catches your eye. Its bowl is shaped like a tiny boat, and its handle is adorned with a miniature, delicately carved fish. You pick it up, turning it over in your hand. This, you realize, is a baptismal spoon used in the sacrament of baptism, symbolizing the cleansing waters and the new life in Christ. The fish, of course, is an ancient Christian symbol. It's a deeply symbolic object, connecting a tiny utensil to one of the most profound rituals of the Christian faith. You record its boat-like bowl and the fish motif. Silver, boat-shaped fish motif baptismal. You imagine a tiny infant, fresh from the baptismal waters, perhaps given a drop of holy oil or wine with this very spoon. It's a hopeful, life-affirming object, a symbol of beginnings and blessings. It's a beautiful example of how even the most ordinary objects in Byzantine culture could be imbued with deep spiritual meaning. You briefly consider if any of the palace guards had a secret side hustle making these intricate baptismal spoons. Probably not. As the sun begins to climb higher, casting a warmer light into the antechamber, you notice a small, almost hidden compartment in the storage unit. You slide it open, and inside, nestled on a bed of crumbling silk, are two spoons made of hardened beeswax. They are incredibly fragile, their surfaces slightly pitted with age, and they carry a faint, sweet, almost honey-like scent. These, you realize, must be devotional spoons, perhaps used in private prayer or for offerings, meant to slowly dissolve or be consumed as part of a spiritual practice. You carefully note their unique material and their extreme fragility. Beeswax, very fragile, devotional. You imagine a pious Byzantine, perhaps a hermit or a devout layperson, using these spoons in a personal act of devotion, their faith embodied in the slow, symbolic consumption of a beeswax spoon. It's a fascinating glimpse into the more intimate, personal expressions of Byzantine spirituality, a realm often hidden from the grand pronouncements of emperors and patriarchs. Historians still debate the extent of personal devotional practices in Byzantium, and these beeswax spoons offer a rare, tangible piece of evidence. It's a spoon that truly melts your heart, in a purely metaphorical sense, of course. The delicate beeswax spoons, now carefully documented, lie nestled in their crumbling silk bed, a silent testament to private devotion. You gently close the hidden compartment, the faint scent of honey still lingering in the air. The morning sun, now streaming fully through the window, illuminates the dust motes dancing in the air, creating a shimmering, almost magical atmosphere in the antechamber. Your mind, though still focused on the task, feels a sense of quiet reverence for the objects you are handling, each a small window into a vast and complex civilization. You turn your attention to a section of the storage area that appears to hold spoons from the various imperial provinces. The first one you pick up is remarkably different from anything you've seen so far. It's made of brightly polished copper, its handle adorned with intricate, almost geometric patterns that remind you of designs found in the eastern parts of the empire, perhaps from Anatolia or even Armenia. It feels solid and practical, yet possesses a distinct artistic flair. You record its copper material and the unique geometric patterns. Copper, geometric patterns, likely Anatolian origin. You imagine a craftsman in a distant provincial workshop, meticulously hammering and engraving this spoon, incorporating local artistic traditions into a functional object. It's a tangible reminder of the vast geographical reach of the Byzantine Empire, a mosaic of diverse cultures and peoples united under the imperial crown. You wonder if this spoon ever found its way to the palace through trade, tribute, or perhaps as a gift. It speaks of journeys, of long roads winding through mountains and across plains. Next, you encounter a spoon made of finely carved wood, perhaps olive wood with a distinctive, almost rustic feel. Its handle is simply shaped, yet smooth from countless hands, and its bowl is shallow and broad. This, you surmise, could be from the southern provinces, perhaps Egypt or Syria, where olive wood was abundant and carving traditions were ancient and deeply ingrained. It feels earthy, connected to the land. You note its wooden material and its simple, rustic form. Olive wood, plain, likely Egyptian-Syrian origin. You imagine it being used by a farmer after a long day in the fields, or by a merchant in a bustling marketplace, stirring a simple stew or a refreshing drink. It's a spoon of the common people, a humble object that speaks of daily life beyond the imperial court. Historians still debate the extent of cultural exchange between the various provinces and the imperial capital. This wooden spoon offers a tiny piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion, a silent envoy from a distant land. You briefly consider if any of these provincial spoons ever caused a diplomatic incident due to their unusual design. Probably not, but you wouldn't put it past Byzantine court intrigue. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly light. It's made of hardened clay, glazed with a surprisingly vibrant blue. It's fragile, clearly not designed for heavy use, and its surface bears the faint impression of a potter's thumbprint. This, you realize, is a local craft item, perhaps from a pottery workshop in Greece or the Aegean Islands, where such glazed ceramics were common. It's a testament to the diverse materials and craft traditions found throughout the empire. You meticulously record its clay material and its distinctive blue glaze. Glazed clay, blue, likely Aegean origin. You imagine it being used in a modest household, perhaps for serving a delicate dessert or a sweet fruit preserve. It's a humble, charming object, a small piece of everyday beauty from a distant corner of the empire. You wonder if the potter ever imagined their creation ending up in the imperial palace, catalogued by a meticulous bureaucrat. Probably not. A particularly unusual spoon catches your eye. It's made of twisted, almost braided strands of animal sinew, hardened and shellacked to create a surprisingly sturdy, yet flexible utensil. It's unlike anything you've seen before, suggesting a very specific, perhaps even nomadic, origin. This, you deduce, could be from the peoples on the far eastern borders of the empire, perhaps a remnant of interaction with steppe tribes or nomadic groups. It speaks of adaptability, of making use of whatever resources are available. You carefully note its sinew material and its braided construction. Animal sinew, braided, likely nomadic Eastern origin. You imagine it being used by a traveler, a scout, or a trader, a simple tool for a life lived on the move. It's a fascinating reminder of the Byzantine Empire's vast and often permeable borders, and its interactions with a multitude of different cultures, some very different from its own. You briefly wonder if there was ever a great spoon exchange between the Byzantines and their nomadic neighbors. It would certainly make for an interesting historical treatise. As the morning progresses, you find another set of spoons, clearly made for a specific purpose. They are small, with extremely sharp, almost pointed bowls. You examine them closely, and you realize they are designed for consuming particularly small, delicate items, perhaps shellfish or tiny, intricate pastries. They speak of a refined culinary tradition, of meticulous dining etiquette. You record their sharp bowls and their probable use for delicate foods. Small, pointed for fine dining. You imagine a Byzantine noblewoman delicately extracting the meat from a tiny oyster, or carefully picking up a single candied violet with one of these elegant spoons. It's a glimpse into a world of sophisticated tastes and elaborate social rituals, where even the smallest detail of dining was carefully considered. You sigh. Your own breakfast of plain bread suddenly seems rather uninspired. Perhaps you should invest in a shellfish spoon. Your mind drifts for a moment to the sheer diversity of spoons you've encountered. It's a remarkable cross-section of Byzantine life, from the sacred to the mundane, from the opulent to the utilitarian, from the imperial capital to the distant provinces. Each spoon, in its own way, tells a story, a tiny fragment of a much larger narrative. You, the humble cataloger, are assembling these fragments, piecing together a comprehensive picture of an empire, one spoon at a time. It's a strange, satisfying feeling, knowing that your meticulous work contributes to the grand tapestry of history. The varied collection of provincial spoons, each whispering tales of distant lands and diverse cultures, now rests neatly within your ledger. The early afternoon sun casts a long, golden rectangle across the floor, inviting a moment of quiet reflection, though the sheer volume of spoons still awaiting your attention forbids any prolonged contemplation. You take a sip of cool, watered wine from your simple earthenware cup, the refreshing tartness a welcome contrast to the lingering dust of ancient objects. You shift to a new category, spoons designed for specific, often obscure palace rituals or functions. The first one you encounter is surprisingly elaborate, made of silver with a long, slender handle that ends in a tiny, intricate bell. You gently shake it, and a faint, almost musical chime echoes in the quiet room. This, you realize, is a ceremonial signaling spoon, used to announce the arrival of a dignitary, the beginning of a new course at a banquet, or perhaps a call for silence. You meticulously record its silver material, its long handle, and the presence of the tiny bell. Silver, long handle, signaling bell, ceremonial. You imagine a palace official, perhaps the grand domestic, standing at the entrance to the Imperial dining hall, gently ringing this very spoon to herald the emperor's arrival, the soft chime cutting through the murmur of conversation, commanding immediate attention. It's a subtle yet powerful instrument, a testament to the Byzantine love for order and protocol, where even a spoon could play a vital role in maintaining imperial dignity. You wonder if any emperor ever got annoyed by the constant ringing. Just eat the soup, Constantine. No need for the fanfare. Next, you find a spoon with an unusually wide, flat bowl and a short, sturdy handle. It's made of polished bronze. You try to imagine its use, perhaps for flattening dough or for serving a very viscous, paste-like food. Then it hits you. This is a mosaic layer spoon. It would have been used to spread the sticky mortar or mastic onto the surface before placing the tiny tesserae, the individual pieces of colored stone or glass, to create the breathtaking mosaics for which Byzantium was famous. You sketch its unusual shape and note its probable use in mosaic artistry. Bronze, wide flat bowl, mosaic layering. You envision a skilled artisan, hunched over a vast mosaic, carefully applying the adhesive with this very spoon, their hands stained with mortar, their eyes focused on the intricate patterns emerging under their touch. It's a humbling thought, connecting a simple utensil to the creation of some of the most enduring artistic masterpieces of the ancient world. Historians still debate the specific techniques used by Byzantine mosaicists. This spoon offers a small, tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing scholarly discussion. You imagine a particularly clumsy mosaic layer, accidentally dropping his spoon into a freshly laid mosaic. Oops, there goes the emperor's left eyebrow. Your attention is drawn to a spoon made of dark, highly polished wood, perhaps rosewood, its surface incredibly smooth to the touch. Its bowl is surprisingly deep, almost like a miniature cup, and its handle is adorned with a delicate, almost invisible carving of a single stylized feather. This, you deduce, is a scribe spoon, used for mixing pigments, or perhaps for holding a small amount of water to thin ink. The feather motif, you surmise, is a subtle nod to the quill. You record its material, deep bowl, and the feather motif. Rosewood, deep bowl, feather carving, scribe's use. You imagine a diligent scribe, perhaps like yourself, preparing his ink, his concentration absolute, his hand steady as he carefully mixes the colors with this very spoon. It's a testament to the vibrant intellectual life of the Byzantine Empire, where the copying and preservation of manuscripts was a sacred duty, and where even the tools of the scribe were imbued with a quiet elegance. You wonder if any scribes ever accidentally dipped this spoon into their tea instead of the ink. It sounds like a Monday morning kind of mistake. A particularly heavy spoon catches your eye next. It's made of solid iron, unadorned, and its bowl is surprisingly shallow, almost flat. Its handle is short and thick, clearly designed for a strong grip. This, you realize, is a blacksmith spoon, used for stirring molten metal in a crucible, or for scooping out slag from a forge. It speaks of the arduous, fiery work of imperial workshops, of the constant demand for tools and weapons, and the skilled labor that kept the empire supplied. You note its iron material, shallow bowl, and robust design. Iron, shallow bowl, blacksmith's use. You imagine the heat, the roar of the forge, the rhythmic clang of the hammer against metal, and the blacksmith, his face smudged with soot, his muscles straining, using this very spoon to manage the searing hot liquid metal. It's a powerful image of industrial production in the ancient world, a far cry from the delicate work of the mosaicist or the scribe. You briefly consider if any blacksmiths ever used their spoons to eat their lunch. Probably not, unless they liked their food with a metallic aftertaste. As the sun begins its slow descent, painting the western sky with hues of orange and purple, you find a spoon that truly surprises you. It's made of a delicate spun gold wire, intricately woven into a mesh-like bowl and a light, airy handle. It's almost transparent, incredibly fragile, and unlike any functional spoon you've ever seen. This, you decide, must be a purely decorative or symbolic spoon, perhaps an imperial gift, or a piece of ceremonial regalia never intended for actual use. You meticulously describe its gold wire construction and its delicate, almost ethereal appearance. Spun gold wire, mesh bowl, purely decorative symbolic. You imagine it resting on a velvet cushion, admired for its exquisite artistry and the sheer extravagance of its material. It's a testament to the Byzantine passion for luxury and display, for creating objects of breathtaking beauty, even if they served no practical purpose. Historians still argue about the precise role of such purely ornamental objects in Byzantine court life. Was it a sign of decadence, or simply a sophisticated expression of imperial power and taste? You shrug. It's a beautiful spoon, regardless. And you, the humble spoon cataloger, are its chronicler. The spun gold spoon, a shimmering testament to imperial extravagance, now rests carefully in your ledger, its intricate details meticulously recorded. The last rays of the sun have finally dipped below the horizon, and the antechamber is bathed in the soft, intimate glow of your replenished oil lamp. A hush has fallen over the palace, the distant sounds of tea. The city fading into a peaceful hum. This quiet time, you've discovered, is when the spoons truly begin to speak, whispering their ancient stories into the stillness. You turn your attention to a collection of spoons that appear to be personal, custom-made items, likely commissioned by individual members of the imperial court. The first one is made of polished silver, its handle exquisitely carved with the image of a specific animal. A majestic lion, its mane flowing, its eyes remarkably lifelike. This, you realize, is a personal emblem, perhaps belonging to a general, a nobleman, or even a member of the imperial family who identified with the strength and courage of the lion. You meticulously record its silver material and the detailed lion carving. Silver, lion carving, personal emblem. You imagine the original owner, perhaps a fierce Byzantine general, using this spoon at every meal, a constant reminder of his own bravery and leadership. It's a tangible piece of personal identity, a subtle declaration of status and character within the rigid hierarchy of the court. You wonder if there were any rivalries based on spoon animals. My eagle spoon is clearly superior to your mere lion spoon. It sounds like typical palace politics. Next, you encounter a spoon made of a dark, lustrous wood, its handle inlaid with tiny, iridescent pieces of mother of pearl, forming a delicate floral pattern. The craftsmanship is exquisite, the mother of pearl catching the lamplight with a soft, otherworldly shimmer. This, you deduce, is likely a lady's spoon, an elegant accessory designed for a high-ranking woman of the court, reflecting her refined taste and social standing. You note its dark wood, mother of pearl inlay and floral design. Dark wood, mother of pearl inlay, floral, likely lady's spoon. You imagine a Byzantine empress, or a wealthy noblewoman, delicately stirring her herbal tea with this exquisite spoon, her rings flashing in the light. It's a symbol of grace and femininity, a small window into the private world of women in the imperial palace, a world often overlooked in the grand narratives of battles and political intrigue. Historians still debate the extent of women's influence in Byzantine society. This spoon, you realize, offers a tiny, beautiful piece of evidence of their material culture. Your fingers brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly rough, almost abrasive. It's made of coarse, unpolished clay, fired to a hard, stony consistency. Its bowl is wide and shallow, and its handle is simply a thick, cylindrical grip. This, you realize, is a communal spoon, likely used in barracks or in the mess halls of palace servants, a utilitarian object designed for durability and ease of production, with no thought given to individual refinement. You record its unpolished clay material and its robust design. Coarse clay, unpolished communal barracks. You imagine lines of soldiers or servants, waiting patiently for their meal, sharing these sturdy spoons, their lives a world away from the gilded chambers of the emperor. It's a humble, yet essential, piece of the Imperial puzzle, a testament to the vast support network that sustained the opulent lifestyle of the court. You wonder if anyone ever tried to sneak a fancy spoon into the communal mess hall. Probably got caught immediately. A particularly unusual spoon catches your eye next. It's made of bone, but not simply polished bone. It has been meticulously etched with what appear to be tiny, intricate maps or constellations. You hold it closer, squinting to discern the minute details. This, you decide, is an astronomer's spoon, or perhaps a navigator's spoon, used for plotting courses, measuring distances, or even for astronomical observations. It speaks of the scientific and navigational knowledge possessed by certain individuals within the Byzantine Empire. You meticulously describe its bone material and the etched maps constellations. Bone, etched maps constellations, astronomers, navigators. You imagine a Byzantine scholar, gazing at the night sky, using this very spoon to make calculations, to chart the movements of the stars, or to plan a maritime voyage. It's a fascinating glimpse into the intellectual pursuits of the era, a reminder that the Byzantines were not just builders and warriors, but also keen observers of the natural world. Historians still argue about the exact extent of Byzantine astronomical and navigational prowess. This spoon offers a tiny, tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder if any Byzantine sailors ever got lost because they dropped their spoon overboard. It's a risk of the trade. As the night deepens and the silence in the antechamber becomes almost palpable, you encounter a spoon that is entirely coated in a thick, dark lacquer. It's smooth and glossy, with a faint, almost medicinal smell. You carefully examine it, and you realize it's been treated with a protective substance. Perhaps to prevent corrosion or to make it resistant to certain chemicals. This, you deduce, is a laboratory spoon, used in the Imperial alchemist's workshop, or in a pharmaceutical lab, where precise measurements and chemical reactions were paramount. You note its lacquered surface and its probable use in a laboratory setting. Lacquered, dark, likely laboratory alchemist S. You imagine a Byzantine alchemist, hunched over bubbling retorts, stirring strange concoctions with this very spoon, hoping to turn lead into gold, or perhaps to discover the elixir of eternal life. It's a glimpse into the mystical and experimental side of Byzantine science, a world where ancient wisdom mingled with nascent scientific inquiry. You wonder if any alchemists ever accidentally ate their experiments with their spoons. Probably happened more often than anyone admitted. You stretch, a tired but satisfied sigh escaping your lips. The sheer variety of spoons continues to astound you. Each one, in its own way, tells a unique story, a small piece of the vast and intricate tapestry of Byzantine life. You are not just cataloging objects. You are preserving fragments of history, ensuring that the whispers of the past continue to resonate, even in the quiet solitude of this antechamber. Your mind, though ready for sleep, is buzzing with the countless narratives that these humble spoons have revealed. The lacquered spoon, a silent witness to Byzantine alchemical mysteries, now rests in your meticulous ledger. The air in the antechamber feels heavier with the approaching midnight, and the palace outside has settled into a profound stillness, punctuated only by the occasional distant creak of ancient timbers. You adjust the wick of your oil lamp, coaxing a little more light from the dwindling fuel. Tonight, you decide, will be a deep dive into the truly obscure, the spoons whose purpose remains shrouded in the mists of time, challenging your every assumption. You pick up a spoon that seems to defy logic. It's made of copper, but its bowl is incredibly shallow, almost flat, and adorned with a series of tiny, raised bumps like braille. Its handle is short and thick. You turn it over and over, bewildered. What could this possibly be for? Then a thought sparks. A bread-scoring spoon, perhaps used in the Imperial bakeries to create decorative patterns on loaves of bread before baking, or to ensure even rising. The bumps would create precise indentations. You meticulously record its copper material and its unusual bumpy, flat bowl. Copper, bumpy, flat bowl, possible bread scoring. You imagine a palace baker, his hands dusted with flour, meticulously pressing this spoon into the dough, creating a beautiful, intricate design on a loaf destined for the emperor's table. It's a testament to the Byzantines' dedication to aesthetics, even in something as humble as bread. Historians still debate the precise techniques used in Byzantine bakeries. This spoon, you realize, offers a tiny, tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You wonder if there were competitive bread scoring contests among the Imperial bakers, probably, knowing the Byzantines. Next, you encounter a spoon that is exceptionally long, thin, and flexible, made of a highly polished dark wood, perhaps cypress. Its bowl is barely a scoop, more like a tiny, elongated spatula. This, you surmise, is a ceremonial spice spoon, used to sprinkle incredibly fine, expensive spices, like powdered cinnamon or rare exotic peppers, onto dishes at the imperial table, ensuring even distribution. The flexibility would allow for a delicate, precise flick of the wrist. You note its long, thin, flexible design and its dark wood. Cypress wood, long, thin, flexible, ceremonial spice. You imagine a master of ceremonies, with a flourish, delicately sprinkling precious spices over a roasted pheasant, the aroma filling the grand dining hall, adding another layer of sensory delight to the imperial feast. It's a small detail, but it speaks volumes about the refined culinary practices and the luxurious tastes of the Byzantine elite. You briefly consider whether this spoon was also used for very precise, very polite earwax removal. Probably not. Your fingers then close around a spoon that feels surprisingly light, almost hollow. It's made of blown glass, but unlike the previous solid glass spoon, this one is clearly hollow and sealed at both ends. Inside, you can see a tiny dried flower. This, you realize, is a decorative perfume spoon, or a potpourri spoon, meant to hold scented substances and diffuse their fragrance when stirred. It's a whimsical, almost poetic object, far removed from the utilitarian spoons you've been cataloging. You record its blown glass material, its hollow form, and the dried flower within. Blown glass, hollow, dried flower, perfume potpourri. You imagine a noblewoman, perhaps in her private chambers, gently stirring a bowl of fragrant rose petals with this delicate spoon, releasing their sweet perfume into the air. It's a glimpse into the sensory world of Byzantine private life, where even personal hygiene and ambience were carefully considered and indulged. Historians still debate the full range of personal care products and luxuries available to the Byzantine elite. This spoon offers a rare, fragrant piece of evidence. You wonder if anyone ever accidentally tried to eat the flower. You shake your head. A particularly sturdy spoon catches your eye next. It's made of solid lead, surprisingly heavy, and its bowl is remarkably shallow, almost like a flat disc, with a small raised lip on one side. This, you realize, is a coin-counting spoon, used by treasury officials to precisely count out stacks of coins, ensuring each stack contained the correct number. The lip would help to guide the coins. You meticulously describe its lead material, shallow, flat bowl, and raised lip. Lead, shallow flat bowl, raised lip, coin counting. You imagine a diligent treasury official, his brow furrowed in concentration, rapidly counting out vast sums of gold solidi or silver milliaresia with this very spoon, the rhythmic clink of metal against metal filling the imperial treasury. It's a tangible link to the financial backbone of the Byzantine Empire, its immense wealth and its sophisticated administrative machinery. You briefly wonder if any treasury officials ever tried to sneak a few coins into their pockets with this spoon. Probably, you decide. Human nature, after all, transcends empires. As the hour grows late, and the silence in the antechamber deepens into a comforting hush, you encounter a spoon that is entirely made of interwoven reeds, meticulously braided and hardened with some form of resin. It's incredibly light, almost weightless, and feels remarkably durable for its material. This, you decide, is an Imperial picnic spoon, designed for outdoor use, easily disposable, and light to transport. You note its reed material and its interwoven construction. Interwoven reeds, resin-hardened, Imperial picnic. You imagine an Imperial hunting party, or a leisurely summer outing to the shores of the Bosphorus, where these lightweight, practical spoons would be used for a meal enjoyed amidst nature. It's a surprising glimpse into the more informal, recreational side of Imperial life, a reminder that even emperors needed a break from the rigid formalities of the palace. You briefly wonder if any reed spoons ever accidentally floated away in the Bosphorus, becoming tiny, mysterious historical artifacts for future generations to ponder. It's a good thought to end the section on. The reed picnic spoon, with its surprising durability and hint of Imperial leisure, now rests in your ledger, a testament to the lighter side of Byzantine life. The oil lamp, though steadily burning, seems to cast longer, more dramatic shadows as the night deepens. A profound stillness has enveloped the palace, broken only by the occasional distant murmur of the night watch, a quiet reminder that even in sleep, the empire is vigilant. You stretch, a subtle crack in your neck echoing in the silence. It's time to delve into the truly perplexing. You reach for a spoon that is remarkably small, almost minuscule, barely larger than your fingernail. It's made of finely polished bone, and its bowl is a mere indentation, almost a dimple. Its handle, equally tiny, is intricately carved with what appears to be a single microscopic letter of the Greek alphabet. You squint, bringing it closer to the lamplight. It's a lambda. What could such an impossibly small spoon possibly be for? A secret, you surmise, a tiny piece of an elaborate puzzle. You meticulously record its bone material, its minuscule size, and the tiny lambda carving. Bone, minuscule, lambda carving, unknown ritual secret. You imagine it being used in some highly secretive ritual, perhaps a clandestine meeting of Imperial spies, or a very specific, arcane academic ceremony where miniature spoons were essential. Historians still argue about the extent of secret societies and covert operations within the Byzantine court. This tiny spoon offers a tantalizing, if microscopic, piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You wonder if it was ever accidentally swallowed. Probably. Next, you encounter a spoon that is strangely heavy for its size. It's made of a dark, almost black volcanic rock, meticulously carved and polished smooth. Its bowl is surprisingly deep, and its handle is adorned with abstract, swirling patterns that seem to mimic the flow of molten lava. This, you realize, is a Geomancer's spoon, used for divining the future, or for interpreting the Earth's energies, perhaps by sprinkling sacred soil or ash. It speaks of the persistent undercurrent of ancient beliefs and practices, even within a Christianized empire. You describe its volcanic rock material and its swirling patterns. Volcanic rock, swirling patterns, Geomancers. Yo. You imagine a Byzantine Geomancer, perhaps in a hidden chamber beneath the palace, meticulously using this very spoon to scatter earth across a divining board, seeking omens or prophecies for the emperor. It's a fascinating glimpse into the more esoteric aspects of Byzantine culture, a world where science, superstition, and faith often intertwined. You wonder if any Geomancers ever blamed a bad prophecy on a misplaced spoon. The omens were clear, Your Majesty, but then I couldn't find my spoon. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that is entirely made of a single, highly polished pearl. It's breathtakingly beautiful, its iridescent surface shimmering with subtle hues of pink and blue in the lamplight. Its bowl is a natural hollow in the pearl, and its handle is simply the elongated form of the pearl itself. This, you deduce, is a purely aesthetic, perhaps even symbolic, spoon, a testament to imperial luxury and the rare treasures amassed by the Byzantine emperors. You meticulously record its pearl material and its natural, unadorned beauty. Solid pearl, naturally formed bowl, purely aesthetic, symbolic. You imagine it resting in a jewel box, admired for its exquisite rarity and its inherent value. It's a reminder that beauty in itself was a prized commodity in the Byzantine court, and that sometimes objects were simply meant to be admired for their own sake, not for their utility. You wonder if any emperor ever tried to actually eat with it. Probably a nightmare to clean. A spoon of remarkable simplicity catches your eye next. It's made of a single, perfectly straight piece of reed, its ends split and splayed to form a rudimentary bowl. It's incredibly light, almost disposable. This, you realize, is an emergency field spoon, perhaps carried by scouts or messengers, or even by soldiers in desperate situations, when all other implements were lost. It speaks of adaptability and resourcefulness in the face of adversity. You note its reed material and its simple, splayed design. Single reed, splayed bowl, emergency field. You imagine a weary messenger, miles from any supplies, gratefully using this simple spoon to eat a handful of dried fruit or a meager portion of parched grain. It's a humble object that speaks volumes about the harsh realities of life on the fringes of the empire, a stark contrast to the opulent banquets of the capital. You briefly wonder if any Byzantine soldiers ever complained about the lack of proper cutlery on campaign. Probably, you decide. Some things never change. As the night stretches on and the silence outside becomes almost deafening, you encounter a spoon that has clearly been repurposed. Its original handle has been broken off, and a new one made of intricately braided human hair has been meticulously woven onto the remaining stub. The hair is dark, almost black, and surprisingly strong. This, you realize, is a memorial spoon, a deeply personal object created as a token of remembrance, perhaps for a lost loved one or a revered ancestor. You describe its repurposed nature and the human hair handle. Repurposed, human hair handle memorial. You imagine a grieving Byzantine, carefully weaving the hair of a beloved family member onto a cherished spoon, a tangible link to their memory, a way to keep them close. It's a profoundly moving object, a rare glimpse into the emotional landscape of Byzantine private life, a world of grief and remembrance, where even spoons could be imbued with deep personal significance. Historians still debate the precise nature of mourning rituals in Byzantium. This spoon, you realize, offers a unique and poignant piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder whose hair it was. Probably not the emperor's. Too much risk of shedding. You lean back in your chair, your eyes tracing the lines of the ledger, filled with the incredible stories of these silent objects. Each spoon, no matter how humble or grand, has offered a window into a different facet of Byzantine life. Its art, its science, its religion, its social structures, its personal tragedies. You are not just a cataloger. You are a quiet guardian of history, ensuring that these small, significant voices from the past continue to resonate. The sheer volume of human experience encapsulated in these humble spoons is truly astounding. The human hair memorial spoon, a poignant whisper from a forgotten grief, now rests carefully within your ledger. The last vestiges of the night have given way to the first faint blush of dawn outside the high window. The palace is still, caught in that quiet liminal space between night and day, a momentary pause before the daily rhythm of Imperial life reasserts itself. You take a deep breath, the cool, fresh air a welcome sensation after hours spent amidst the dust of ages. Today, you will delve into the truly luxurious, the spoons that speak of unbridled wealth and extravagant display. You pick up a spoon that seems to radiate it's made of pure gold, but unlike the previous golden spoon, this one is entirely encrusted with tiny, perfectly cut emeralds and rubies, set in intricate patterns across its handle and bowl. It glitters with every movement, catching the faint morning light and scattering it into a dazzling array of colors. This, you realize, is an Imperial display spoon, never meant for actual use, but rather as a glittering symbol of unimaginable wealth and prestige, brought out for grand state occasions or to impress foreign dignitaries. You meticulously record its pure gold material and its lavish gemstone incrustation. Pure gold, emerald and ruby encrusted, Imperial display. You imagine it resting on a velvet cushion, part of a display of Imperial treasures, admired by awestruck ambassadors from distant lands, a silent declaration of the Byzantine Empire's power and its limitless resources. It's a testament to the Byzantine love for dazzling displays of opulence, designed to reinforce the emperor's divine authority and awe his subjects and rivals alike. You wonder if any emperors ever tried to pawn one of these off when times were tough. Probably, but they'd never admit it. Next, you encounter a spoon made of finely crafted silver, but its handle is intricately carved into the shape of a miniature, highly detailed serpent, its scales meticulously rendered, its tiny eyes glinting with a lifelike intensity. The serpent, you recall, often symbolized wisdom or healing in ancient cultures. This, you surmise, is a healer's spoon, perhaps used by the Imperial physicians for mixing potent remedies, or for administering medicine, with the serpent symbolizing the healing arts. You describe its silver material and the detailed serpent carving. Silver, serpent carving, healer's medical. You imagine a Byzantine physician, his face grave with concern, carefully administering a draught to a sickly noble with this very spoon, hoping to ward off illness and restore health. It's a fascinating glimpse into the medical practices of the era, a world where empirical knowledge mingled with ancient symbolism and a deep reliance on faith. Historians still debate the effectiveness of Byzantine medicine. This spoon, you realize, offers a tangible link to their practices. You briefly consider if any physicians ever accidentally used it to stir their coffee. Highly unlikely. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly warm to the touch. It's made of perfectly polished amber, its surface a deep, rich honey color, with tiny, almost microscopic inclusions of ancient insects trapped within. Its bowl is smoothly carved, and its handle is a simple, elegant curve. This, you deduce, is a ceremonial spoon for offering, perhaps used in religious rituals to offer precious resins or fragrant oils. Amber was prized for its beauty and its perceived mystical properties. You note its amber material and its warm, inviting glow. Amber, ancient inclusions, ceremonial offering. You imagine a priest or a high-ranking court official carefully placing a spoonful of fragrant frankincense or myrrh onto a brazier during a solemn ceremony, the smoke curling upwards, filling the air with a sweet, ancient aroma. It's a beautiful, almost timeless object, connecting the sensory world of ancient ritual to the enduring beauty of natural materials. You wonder if any of the insects ever came back to life after being freed from the amber. Probably not, but it's a fun thought. A peculiar spoon catches your eye next. It's made of a dark, almost translucent material which you recognize as horn, probably from a wild ox. Its bowl is surprisingly deep, and its handle is etched with simple, almost primal geometric patterns. This, you realize, is a hunter's spoon, used by those who ventured beyond the palace walls, into the wilderness, perhaps for sharing stew around a campfire or for consuming wild berries. It speaks of a connection to nature, to the untamed landscapes beyond the city. You meticulously describe its horn material and its simple, etched patterns. Horn, etched patterns, hunter's wilderness. You imagine a Byzantine hunter, his face weathered by sun and wind, using this very spoon after a successful hunt, sharing a hearty meal with his companions under the vast, starry sky. It's a humble yet essential tool for a life lived close to the earth, a reminder that even the most sophisticated empires rely on the bounty of nature and the skills of those who extract it. You briefly wonder if any hunters ever accidentally used it to stir their gunpowder. Probably not a good idea. As the morning light strengthens, casting bright squares on the floor, you encounter a spoon that is entirely made of interwoven gold thread, intricately braided to form both the bowl and the handle. It's astonishingly delicate, almost lace-like, shimmering with every breath of air. This, you decide, is a purely symbolic spoon, perhaps a gift from a foreign dignita. Rye, or a representation of imperial artistry and wealth, too fragile for any practical use. You record its interwoven gold thread material and its delicate lace-like appearance. Interwoven gold thread, lace-like purely symbolic gift. You imagine it displayed in a treasury, a testament to the extraordinary skill of Byzantine goldsmiths and the empire's limitless resources. It's a piece that transcends mere utility, entering the realm of pure art, a silent declaration of aesthetic prowess. Historians still debate the symbolic meaning of such elaborate, non-functional objects. Was it a sign of power or simply a display of artistic vanity? You shrug. It's beautiful either way. And you, the humble spoon cataloger, are its quiet chronicler. The interwoven gold thread spoon, a testament to breathtaking artistry and opulent display, now rests within the carefully penned pages of your ledger. The morning light, now fully established, illuminates the antechamber, revealing the faint dust motes dancing in the air like tiny, golden particles. You stretch, a satisfying pop in your shoulder, a testament to the long hours spent in meticulous observation. Today, you embark on a fascinating journey into the realm of specialized palace staff, unearthing the spoons unique to their often unseen roles. You pick up a spoon made of highly polished brass, its bowl surprisingly broad and flat, with a small, almost imperceptible spout on one side. Its handle is short and sturdy. This, you realize, is a librarian spoon, used for carefully applying small amounts of water or diluted paste to parchment or papyrus during the meticulous process of mending ancient scrolls and books in the Imperial library. The spout would allow for precise application. You meticulously record its brass material, its broad, flat bowl with a spout. Brass, broad, flat bowl, spout, Librarian S. You imagine a diligent Byzantine librarian, his hands stained with ink and parchment dust, carefully repairing a fragile manuscript with this very spoon, preserving the wisdom of the ages for future generations. It's a humbling thought, connecting a simple utensil to the vital work of preserving knowledge in an era before printing presses. Historians still debate the extent of literacy and scholarship in Byzantine society. This spoon, you realize, offers a tiny, tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder if any librarians ever accidentally glued their fingers together with too much paste. Probably. Next, you encounter a spoon made of solid, polished ebony, its handle incredibly long and thin, almost needle-like, and its bowl a mere, tiny scoop. This, you surmise, is an Imperial Tailor spoon, used for retrieving stray pins or needles that had fallen into the folds of lavish Imperial garments, or for applying tiny amounts of wax to thread. Its length and thinness would allow it to reach into the intricate layers of fabric. You describe its ebony material, its long, needle-like handle and tiny scoop. Ebony, long needle-like handle tailors. You imagine a skilled Byzantine tailor, hunched over a magnificent imperial robe, meticulously stitching delicate embroidery, using this very spoon to retrieve a dropped pin, ensuring no imperfection marred the emperor's attire. It's a glimpse into the unseen labor that went into maintaining the splendor of the imperial court, a world of painstaking detail and meticulous craftsmanship. You briefly consider whether any tailors ever accidentally jabbed themselves with this spoon. Unlikely. They were too skilled for that. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly textured, almost granular. It's made of finely crushed and reconstituted bone, mixed with a binding agent, and then molded into a spoon. Its surface is slightly uneven, and its color is a dull off-white. This, you deduce, is a stable master's spoon, used for precisely measuring out feed or supplements for the emperor's prized imperial horses, or for administering medicine to ailing animals. The rough texture would provide a better grip, even with dusty hands. You note its reconstituted bone material and its granular texture. Reconstituted bone, granular, stable master, S. You imagine a dedicated stable master, his hands strong and weathered, carefully portioning out feed for the magnificent imperial steeds, ensuring their health and strength for parades, hunts, or even military campaigns. It's a tangible link to the vital role of horses in the Byzantine Empire, both for transportation and for military might. You wonder if any stable masters ever tried to eat horse feed with this spoon. Probably not, even for a bet. A peculiar spoon catches your eye next. It's made of hardened leather, meticulously shaped and stitched to form a bowl and handle. It's surprisingly rigid yet flexible, and its surface bears the faint scent of cured animal hide. This, you realize, is a tanner's spoon, used for scooping and scent. Urring various chemical solutions in the tanning vats, for preparing hides for imperial garments or military equipment. The leather construction would be resistant to corrosive substances. You meticulously describe its hardened leather material and its stitched construction. Hardened leather, stitched, tanner S. You imagine a Byzantine tanner, his arms strong from years of labor, stirring foul-smelling vats of chemicals, transforming raw hides into supple leather, a crucial material for shoes, armor, and countless other imperial necessities. It's a glimpse into one of the more unpleasant, yet essential, trades of the Byzantine Empire, a world of strong odors and vital, messy processes. You briefly consider if any tanners ever accidentally dropped their spoon into a vat of acid. Probably, and it wouldn't have ended well. As the midday sun climbs higher, casting bright, almost blinding light through the window, you encounter a spoon that is entirely made of meticulously woven horsehair. It's incredibly fine, almost translucent and surprisingly strong, yet retains a delicate flexibility. Its bowl is a shallow mesh, and its handle is a slender braided cord. This, you decide, is a royal falconer's spoon, used for administering tiny, delicate portions of food to imperial falcons, or for offering them water during training. The fine mesh would prevent loss of small morsels. You record its woven horsehair material and its delicate mesh bowl. Woven horsehair, delicate mesh, royal falconers. You imagine a skilled Byzantine falconer, his eyes keen, his movements precise, delicately feeding a magnificent imperial falcon, the bird's sharp talons resting gently on his gloved hand. It's a tangible link to the imperial pastime of falconry, a sport reserved for the elite, requiring immense skill and dedication. Historians still debate the precise training methods used for Byzantine falcons. This spoon, you realize, offers a tiny, tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You wonder if any falcons ever tried to snatch the spoon along with the food. Probably, those birds were notoriously feisty. You lean back, a weary but satisfied sigh escaping your lips. The array of specialized spoons, each a miniature tool of a forgotten trade, has painted a vivid picture of the intricate machinery that kept the Byzantine Empire functioning. From the quiet work of the librarian to the arduous labor of the tanner, each role, no matter how humble, had its own unique implements, its own specific spoons. And you, the humble spoon cataloger, are giving voice to these silent instruments of history. It's a deeply satisfying feeling. The horsehair falconer's spoon, a delicate link to the imperial hunt, now rests within your meticulously filled ledger. The afternoon air, growing warmer, carries the faint, comforting scent of blooming jasmine from the distant palace gardens. You shift in your seat, your back protesting slightly from the hours of diligent work, but your mind remains sharp, eager to uncover more of the silent stories embedded in these countless pieces of cutlery. Today, you embark on the truly bizarre, the spoons that defy conventional explanation, pushing the boundaries of your bureaucratic imagination. You pick up a spoon that is made of intricately woven human hair. Yes, human hair. This one is different from the memorial spoon. It's a full spoon, bowl, and handle, meticulously braided and hardened with a clear resin. It's surprisingly sturdy but incredibly unsettling. You wonder who made it and why. This, you surmise, is a ceremonial oath-taking spoon, used in a secretive or highly personal ritual, perhaps to swear an unbreakable vow, symbolizing the intertwining of lives or destinies. You meticulously record its human hair material and its intricately braided construction. Human hair, intricately braided, ceremonial oath-taking. You imagine a Byzantine nobleman, perhaps a member of a secret society, or two lovers in a clandestine meeting, sharing a solemn oath over this unsettlingly personal spoon, their fates bound by its unusual material. It's a tantalizing glimpse into the hidden rituals and private lives of the Byzantine elite, a world of secret vows and unspoken allegiances. Historians still argue about the extent of pagan survivals and esoteric practices in the Christianized Byzantine Empire. This spoon offers a bizarre, yet tangible, piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder if it was ever accidentally left in a royal bedchamber. That would certainly raise some eyebrows. Next, you encounter a spoon made of hardened, translucent amber. But unlike the earlier amber spoon, this one contains not insects, but tiny, perfectly preserved scales of a fish. The scales shimmer with an iridescent glow, suspended within the golden amber. This, you deduce, is an oracle spoon, used in a form of divination involving water and fish scales, perhaps for interpreting prophecies or guidance from the divine. The scales would be stirred in water and their patterns observed. You describe its amber material and the tiny fish scales embedded within. Hardened amber, fish scales embedded, oracle's divination. You imagine a Byzantine oracle, perhaps a solitary figure in a secluded chamber, gazing intently at the swirling patterns of the fish scales in water, seeking answers to the mysteries of the future, or interpreting the will of the gods. It's a fascinating glimpse into the mystical and spiritual beliefs that permeated Byzantine society, a world where the rational often intertwined with the supernatural. You wonder if any oracles ever blamed a bad prophecy on a particularly stubborn fish scale. The omens were clear, Your Majesty, but then this scale just wouldn't swirl right. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly flexible, almost rubbery. It's made of dried, flattened animal bladder, meticulously cut and shaped into a spoon, its surface surprisingly smooth. This, you realize, is an anatomist's spoon, used by imperial physicians or scholars for delicate dissections, or for precisely applying liquids during anatomical studies. Its flexibility would allow for gentle manipulation of delicate tissues. You note its dried animal bladder material and its flexible construction. Dried animal bladder, flexible, anatomists. You imagine a Byzantine anatomist, perhaps in a hidden laboratory, carefully dissecting a specimen, his hands steady, using this very spoon to explore the intricate workings of the human or animal body. It's a stark reminder of the progress of scientific inquiry in the Byzantine Empire, a world where the study of anatomy, though often controversial, was pursued with dedication. You briefly consider if any anatomists ever accidentally used it to eat their lunch. Unlikely. That would be truly disturbing. A peculiar spoon catches your eye next. It's made of carved and polished human bone, specifically a small fragment of a skull. The bowl is formed from the curve of the bone, and the handle is a simple, polished stub. It's incredibly unsettling, a tangible link to mortality. This, you surmise, is a memento mori spoon, a grim reminder of death and the fleeting nature of life, perhaps used in a ritual of remembrance or contemplation of one's own mortality. You meticulously describe its human bone material and its skull fragment origin. Human bone, skull fragment, memento mori. You imagine a contemplative Byzantine, perhaps a monk or a philosopher, holding this spoon, meditating on the ephemeral nature of earthly existence, a stark contrast to the opulent displays of wealth found elsewhere in the palace. It's a deeply philosophical object, a tangible embodiment of a profound human truth. Historians still debate the extent of such macabre practices in Byzantine society. This spoon, you realize, offers a chilling, yet tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder if it was ever accidentally used to stir tea. That would certainly be a shock. As the sun begins its slow descent, painting the western sky with hues of orange and purple, you encounter a spoon that is entirely made of meticulously preserved bird feathers, intricately woven and glued together to form a light, airy, yet functional spoon. It's surprisingly sturdy, and its surface is soft and velvety to the touch. This, you decide, is an Imperial messenger's spoon, lightweight and easily carried, perhaps used for sharing quick meals on long journeys, symbolizing the swiftness of communication. You record its bird feather material and its intricately woven construction. Bird feathers, intricately woven Imperial messenger S. You imagine a swift Byzantine messenger, running across vast distances, his pouch light, using this very spoon for a hasty meal, his mind focused on the urgent dispatch he carries. It's a tangible link to the vital communication networks that held the vast Byzantine Empire together, a world where information was power, and messengers were its lifeblood. You briefly wonder if any messengers ever tried to fly with this spoon. Probably not, but it sounds like a good joke for the barracks. You lean back in your chair, a profound sense of wonder settling over you. The sheer eccentricity of some of these spoons, the unexpected materials and their arcane purposes, has been truly remarkable. You are no longer just a cataloger. You are an archaeologist of the strange, a curator of the peculiar, unearthing the hidden stories that defy easy explanation, ensuring that even the most bizarre fragments of Byzantine life are not forgotten. It's a strange, yet deeply satisfying endeavor. The bird feather messenger's spoon, a light and swift whisper of communication, now rests in your burgeoning ledger. The air in the antechamber has grown cool with the deepening twilight, and the distant sounds of the city are fading into the gentle hum of the approaching night. You adjust the oil lamp, its flickering glow dancing across the pages of your meticulous records. Tonight, you delve into the truly unique, the spoons that stand alone, defying categorization, each a singular testament to Byzantine ingenuity and eccentricity. You pick up a spoon that is made entirely of compressed, polished whalebone. It's remarkably smooth and cool to the touch, with a faint, almost creamy color and subtle striations that speak of its oceanic origin. Its bowl is deep and wide, and its handle is elegantly curved. This, you realize, is an Imperial shipmaster's spoon, used on long voyages for communal meals, its durable material impervious to salt and water, a practical tool for life at sea. You meticulously record its whalebone material and its smooth, durable finish. Whalebone, smooth, shipmaster's nautical. You imagine a seasoned Byzantine shipmaster, his face weathered by sun and sea spray, steering his vessel through the treacherous waters of the Mediterranean, using this very spoon to eat his meal, a tangible link to the vast maritime trade and naval power of the Byzantine Empire. Historians still debate the precise routes and technologies of Byzantine shipping. This spoon, you realize, offers a tiny, tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You wonder if any shipmasters ever used it as a makeshift paddle, probably in a pinch. Next, you encounter a spoon made of hardened, transparent resin, suspended within which are tiny, perfectly preserved gold flecks, shimmering like captured stars. Its bowl is shallow, and its handle is a simple, elegant curve. This, you deduce, is a court astrologer's spoon, used for mixing rare powdered herbs or pigments for celestial observations, the gold flecks perhaps symbolizing the stars themselves, or adding a mystical element to the preparations. You describe its resin material and the embedded gold flecks. Hardened resin, gold flecks embedded, astrologers. You imagine a wise Byzantine astrologer, his eyes keen, his mind deciphering the movements of the planets and stars, carefully stirring his arcane concoctions with this very spoon, seeking to divine the future for the emperor or to interpret celestial omens. It's a fascinating glimpse into the intersection of science and superstition in the Byzantine world, a realm where the cosmos held profound sway over human affairs. You wonder if any astrologers ever blamed a bad prediction on a missing gold fleck in their spoon. The alignment was perfect, Your Majesty, but alas, my spoon was underflecked. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly porous, almost like a sponge. It's made of finely ground and compacted volcanic ash, meticulously molded and fired. Its bowl is surprisingly deep, and its handle is thick and short. This, you realize, is a bathhouse attendant's spoon, used for scooping and applying various abrasive scrubs or cleansing agents in the Imperial bathhouses. The porous material would absorb and distribute the substances effectively. You note its volcanic ash material and its porous texture. Volcanic ash, porous bathhouse attendant S. You imagine a hardworking Byzantine bathhouse attendant, his muscles strong, his movements efficient, expertly applying cleansing scrubs to weary imperial bodies, helping to maintain the strict hygiene standards of the palace. It's a tangible link to the daily routines of personal care and public health in the Byzantine Empire, a world where bathhouses were not just for cleansing, but also for socializing. You briefly consider if any bathhouse attendants ever accidentally scooped up a foot with this spoon. Probably, it was a busy place. A peculiar spoon catches your eye next. It's made of a single, continuous strand of finely twisted and polished human hair, woven into a spoon shape. It's incredibly light and almost ethereal, with an unsettling beauty. This, you surmise, is a secret confessor's spoon, used in a symbolic ritual of purification or penance, where the intimate nature of the human hair would represent the deeply personal nature of confession. You meticulously describe its human hair material and its single-strand construction. Single-strand human hair, woven, secret confessors. You imagine a Byzantine confessor, perhaps a priest or a spiritual advisor, engaging in a deeply personal and solemn ritual with a penitent, using this unique spoon as a symbolic tool of absolution or spiritual cleansing. It's a fascinating glimpse into the hidden spiritual practices and the profound emphasis on personal piety within the Byzantine world. Historians still debate the exact nature and frequency of private confessions in Byzantium. This spoon, you realize, offers a unique and rather unsettling piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder if it was ever accidentally left in the laundry. That would be a truly awkward discovery. As the night deepens and the silence outside becomes almost profound, you encounter a spoon that is entirely made of meticulously shaped and polished ice. It's incredibly cold to the touch, and its surface is perfectly smooth and translucent. It clearly could not have survived long. This, you decide, is a purely ephemeral ceremonial spoon, designed for a single fleeting use, perhaps for a summer festival or a very specific symbolic offering meant to melt away, leaving no trace. You record its ice material and its perfectly translucent form. Ice, perfectly translucent, ephemeral ceremonial. You imagine a summer celebration in the Imperial Gardens, a grand procession, where these ice spoons would be used for a single symbolic act, their melting symbolizing transience or purification. It's a beautiful, poetic object, a reminder of the Byzantine appreciation for fleeting beauty and the power of symbolic gestures. Historians still debate the full range of ephemeral art and ceremonial objects in Byzantium. This spoon, you realize, offers a truly unique, if fleeting, piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder if anyone ever tried to put it in their wine. Probably, and it would have disappeared instantly. You lean back in your chair, a profound sense of awe settling over you. The sheer ingenuity and imagination that went into the creation of these spoons, even the ephemeral ones, is truly remarkable. You are not just a cataloger. You are a witness to the profound creativity and unexpected quirks of a lost civilization, ensuring that even the most fleeting of its creations are remembered. It's a deeply satisfying, if somewhat chilling, endeavor. The ephemeral ice spoon, a fleeting whisper of Byzantine summer celebrations, now exists only in your meticulously inked ledger. The antechamber is bathed in the deep, inky blackness of true midnight, pierced only by the steady, comforting glow of your oil lamp. The palace outside is utterly still, a silent, sleeping leviathan of stone and history. You take a slow, deliberate breath, the quiet broken only by the faint rustle of parchment as you turn to a fresh page. Tonight, you confront the truly ancient, the spoons that predate even the empire itself, bearing silent witness to the very foundations of civilization. You pick up a spoon that feels remarkably heavy and dense. It's made of polished obsidian, its surface a deep, lustrous black, with edges so sharp you marvel at the craftsmanship. Its bowl is surprisingly deep, and its handle is simply shaped, yet smooth from countless hands. This, you realize, is a pre-Byzantine ritual spoon, perhaps from an ancient Anatolian cult, or even a relic from the Roman Empire itself, used in forgotten religious practices or sacred ceremonies. Its presence here is a testament to the Byzantines' habit of collecting and preserving ancient artifacts. You meticulously record its obsidian material and its sharp, polished finish. Obsidian, sharp, pre-Byzantine ritual. You imagine it being used in a dimly lit, ancient temple by priests in forgotten vestments, performing rites that predate Christianity, its dark, reflective surface perhaps used for scrying or for reflecting divine light. It's a profound link to the deep layers of history upon which the Byzantine Empire was built, a silent echo of the civilizations that came before. Historians still argue about the extent to which Byzantine culture absorbed and transformed earlier pagan traditions. This spoon, you realize, offers a tangible, if unsettling, piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You wonder if any emperor ever tried to cut his steak with it. Probably, and likely regretted it. Next, you encounter a spoon made of intricately carved and polished amber, but this one is distinctly different from the others. Its handle is a miniature, yet incredibly detailed, carving of a prehistoric animal, a woolly mammoth, its tusks curled, its shaggy coat meticulously rendered. This, you deduce, is a prehistoric hunter's charm spoon, perhaps discovered in an ancient burial site and subsequently valued for its antiquity and its perceived magical properties, a relic from a time before recorded history. You describe its amber material and the prehistoric animal carving. Amber, prehistoric animal carving, ancient charm. You imagine it being carried by a nomadic hunter tens of thousands of years ago, a token of good luck in the hunt, a tangible connection to the primal forces of nature. Its journey through time, from the hands of a forgotten hunter to the meticulous records of a Byzantine bureaucrat, is truly astonishing. You wonder if any Byzantines ever believed it could bring back woolly mammoths. Probably, you decide. Faith can move mountains, and perhaps even bring back extinct megafauna. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly cold, almost metallic, yet it's clearly made of a highly compressed, fossilized fern. Its surface bears the delicate imprint of the ancient plant, and its color is a deep, earthy green. Its bowl is shallow, and its handle is a simple, straight form. This, you realize, is a druid spoon, or perhaps a shaman's spoon, a relic from ancient Celtic or Germanic tribes, used in rituals connected to nature, the earth, and the cycles of life and death. You note its fossilized fern material and its earthy green color. Fossilized fern, earthy green, ancient pagan ritual. You imagine it being used by an ancient forest priest, deep within a sacred grove, performing rituals under the canopy of ancient trees, its connection to the earth profound and mystical. Its presence in the Imperial palace, a testament to the vast reach of Byzantine trade and conquest, is truly remarkable. You briefly consider if any Byzantines ever tried to grow a new fern from it. Probably, and were probably disappointed. A peculiar spoon catches your eye next. It's made of a single, large, perfectly formed shark's tooth, its natural curve forming the bowl, and its sharp, serrated edge still present. Its handle is simply the elongated root of the tooth, polished smooth. This, you surmise, is an ancient fisherman's or sailor's protective charm spoon, used for good luck at sea, or for offering thanks to the sea gods, a relic from a maritime culture that predates the Byzantine Empire. You meticulously describe its shark tooth material and its natural, sharp form. Shark's tooth, natural bowl, ancient maritime charm. You imagine an ancient sailor, battling fierce storms, clinging to this very spoon, hoping for safe passage, its sharp edge a symbol of protection against the dangers of the deep. It's a powerful link to humanity's enduring relationship with the sea, and its reliance on the unpredictable forces of nature. Historians still debate the extent of pre-Christian beliefs and practices that persisted in Byzantine maritime communities. This spoon, you realize, offers a tangible, if chilling, piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder if any Byzantine sailors ever tried to use it to fend off actual sharks. Probably, and it probably didn't work. As the deep night progresses, and the silence outside becomes almost deafening, you encounter a spoon that is entirely made of meticulously carved and polished volcanic glass, specifically tektite, a natural glass formed from meteorite impacts. It's incredibly dark, almost black, and its surface is subtly pitted, giving it an otherworldly feel. Its bowl is surprisingly deep, and its handle is a simple, unadorned curve. This, you decide, is a celestial observer's spoon, or perhaps a shaman's spoon used in rituals connected to the cosmos, to the stars and the heavens, a relic from a culture that worshipped the celestial realm. You record its tektite material and its subtle pitting. Tektite pitted ancient celestial ritual. You imagine an ancient astronomer or a shaman under a vast star-filled sky gazing at the heaven, using this very spoon in a ritual to commune with the cosmic forces, its material a direct link to the stars themselves. It's a truly profound object connecting the earth to the cosmos and the ancient past to your present moment. You lean back, a profound sense of wonder settling over you. These ancient spoons, each a silent voice from a time before memory, are a testament to the enduring human quest for meaning, for connection, for survival. Your meticulous work is not just cataloging, it's excavating the very soul of humanity, one spoon at a time. It's a surprisingly heavy burden, but a deeply rewarding one. The Tektite celestial spoon, a dark and pitted relic of ancient cosmic worship, now rests meticulously documented in your ledger. The deep night continues its silent vigil outside the antechamber, the only sound the soft, rhythmic scratching of your quill. You feel a profound connection to the countless hands that have held these objects, spanning millennia, each leaving an invisible imprint of their hopes, fears, and daily lives. Tonight, you confront the ceremonial, the symbolic, and the utterly unique spoons that reveal the Empire's nuanced expressions of power and piety. You pick up a spoon made of solid, polished porphyry, a rich, purple-red stone reserved for Imperial use. Its bowl is shallow, almost flat, and its handle is intricately carved with the Imperial double-headed eagle. This, you realize, is an Imperial consecration spoon, used in the most sacred of Imperial ceremonies, perhaps for anointing the Emperor, or for offering symbolic blessings during coronations. Its material alone speaks volumes about its august purpose. You meticulously record its porphyry material and the Imperial eagle carving. Porphyry, Imperial eagle, Imperial consecration. You imagine the grand spectacle of an Imperial coronation in the Hagia Sophia, the air thick with incense, the chants echoing through the vast dome, and this very spoon in the hands of the patriarch, touching the forehead of the newly crowned emperor, a tangible link between divine will and earthly power. It's a powerful symbol of the Byzantine concept of sacred emperorship, where the ruler was seen as God's representative on earth. Historians still argue about the precise role of such symbolic objects in reinforcing imperial authority. This spoon, you realize, offers a profound, tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You wonder if any emperors ever felt the weight of the empire purely from holding this spoon. Probably. Next, you encounter a spoon made of intricately carved and polished tortoise shell. Its surface is a mosaic of warm browns and rich ambers, and its handle is sculpted into the delicate form of a miniature dove, its wings spread as if in flight. This, you deduce, is a bridal spoon, used in wedding ceremonies, symbolizing love, peace, and perhaps the long life of the tortoise itself. It speaks of domestic bliss and the enduring importance of marriage in Byzantine society. You describe its tortoise shell material and the dove carving. Tortoise shell, dove carving, bridal ceremonial. You imagine a Byzantine bride, her face veiled, sharing a symbolic spoonful of honey or sweet wine with her groom, a gesture of unity and the sweetness of their future life together. It's a beautiful, intimate object, a tangible link to the private rituals and personal joys within the imperial court, a world often overshadowed by grand political events. You wonder if any Byzantine grooms ever accidentally dropped it. Probably, and it probably caused a brief, awkward silence. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly light and delicate, almost ethereal. It's made of finely spun and woven silk, stiffened with some form of invisible resin. Its bowl is a shallow mesh, and its handle is a delicate braided cord. This, you realize, is a dream interpreter's spoon, used in a symbolic ritual before sleep, perhaps to stir a calming herbal infusion, or to hold a fragment of a dream-inducing herb, aiding in the interpretation of prophetic dreams. You note its silk material and its delicate mesh bowl. Silk, delicate mesh, dream interpreter, S. You imagine a Byzantine dream interpreter, perhaps a wise woman or a respected scholar, preparing for a session of dream analysis, her mind attuned to the subtle whispers of the subconscious, using this very spoon to prepare the symbolic aid. It's a fascinating glimpse into the Byzantine belief in the power of dreams as omens and sources of divine guidance. Historians still debate the role of dream interpretation in Byzantine court life. This spoon, you realize, offers a unique, if ephemeral, piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly consider if any dream interpreters ever blamed a bad dream on a faulty spoon. The omen was clear, Your Majesty, but then my spoon fell apart. A peculiar spoon catches your eye next. It's made of hardened, blackened human blood, meticulously molded and polished to a surprisingly smooth finish. Its bowl is shallow, and its handle is a simple, unadorned curve. It's incredibly unsettling, a tangible link to sacrifice and perhaps a grim oath. This, you surmise, is a blood oath spoon, used in a dark, secret ritual to seal an unbreakable vow, perhaps of loyalty or revenge. You meticulously describe its human blood material and its blackened, polished finish. Human blood, blackened, blood oath. You imagine a clandestine meeting, perhaps of conspirators or desperate allies, sharing a solemn, terrifying oath over this chilling spoon, their destinies irrevocably bound by its macabre material. It's a truly disturbing object, a rare glimpse into the darker undercurrents of Byzantine court intrigue, and the lengths to which individuals would go to secure power or exact vengeance. Historians still argue about the prevalence of such secret and macabre rituals in Byzantium. This spoon, you realize, offers a chilling, yet tangible piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly wonder if it was ever accidentally used to stir wine. Unlikely, and you shudder at the thought. As the deep night progresses, and the silence outside becomes almost profound, you encounter a spoon that is entirely made of meticulously carved and polished petrified wood. Its surface retains the intricate grain and texture of ancient wood, yet it feels as hard and cold as stone. Its bowl is deep, and its handle is a simple, sturdy form. This, you decide, is a long-distance traveler's spoon, a durable and symbolic companion for arduous journeys, representing resilience and enduring connection to the earth. You record its petrified wood material and its enduring stone-like quality. Petrified wood, stone-like long-distance traveler, S. You imagine a seasoned Byzantine traveler embarking on a perilous journey across deserts and mountains, carrying this very spoon as a symbol of endurance and connection to the vastness of the empire. It's a profound object, M, embodying the spirit of exploration and the human desire to overcome vast distances. You lean back, a profound sense of awe settling over you. These ceremonial and symbolic spoons, each a miniature masterpiece of strange materials and arcane purposes, have painted a vivid picture of the Byzantine mind, a world both deeply spiritual and surprisingly dark. Your meticulous work, you realize, is not just cataloging, it's excavating the very soul of a lost empire, one profound spoon at a time. It's a strangely exhilarating, if sometimes unsettling, endeavor. The petrified wood traveler's spoon, a silent testament to enduring journeys, now rests meticulously inscribed in your ledger. The deepest hours of night have passed, and a faint, almost imperceptible gray light is beginning to soften the edges of the high window. The palace outside remains wrapped in a profound stillness, a momentary breath held before the world awakens. Your eyes feel heavy, but your mind, strangely invigorated by the night's discoveries, urges you onward. Tonight you confront the truly ephemeral, the spoons designed for fleeting moments, leaving only echoes in time. You pick up a spoon made entirely of spun sugar, its surface shimmering with a delicate, almost translucent quality. It's incredibly fragile, and you can feel a faint, sweet stickiness on your fingertips. Its bowl is shallow, and its handle is a simple, elegant twist. This, you realize, is a celebratory feast spoon, designed to be consumed at the end of a particularly lavish banquet, a sweet, edible finale to a grand meal, symbolizing abundance and indulgence. You meticulously record its spun sugar material and its translucent, fragile appearance. Spun sugar, translucent, edible, celebratory feast. You imagine a Byzantine nobleman, his face flushed with wine and merriment, playfully consuming this very spoon after a rich dessert, a delightful, fleeting gesture of pure indulgence. It's a tangible link to the Imperial passion for elaborate feasts and the art of culinary display, where even the cutlery could become part of the edible spectacle. Historians still argue about the exact composition of many Byzantine sweets. This spoon, you realize, offers a delicious, if fleeting, piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You wonder if any servants ever secretly snacked on the discarded sugar spoons. Probably, and who could blame them? Next, you encounter a spoon made of intricately woven flower petals, carefully pressed and dried, then bound with a fine, invisible thread. Its surface is delicate and surprisingly robust, retaining the vibrant colors of the original blossoms. Its bowl is shallow, and its handle is a simple, elegant stem. This, you deduce, is a spring festival spoon, used in rituals celebrating renewal and growth, or perhaps for offering symbolic floral gifts during seasonal festivities. You describe its woven flower petal material and its vibrant colors. Woven flower petals, dried, spring festival offering. You imagine a Byzantine maiden, her hair adorned with fresh blossoms, gently offering a symbolic spoonful of dewdrops or tiny seeds with this very spoon, a gesture of hope and fertility as the empire embraced the vibrancy of spring. It's a beautiful, poetic object, a tangible link to the agrarian rhythms and seasonal celebrations that shaped Byzantine life, a world deeply connected to the natural world. You wonder if any of the flower petals ever mysteriously rebloomed. Unlikely, but it's a nice thought. Your fingers then brush against a spoon that feels surprisingly light, almost weightless. It's made of finely spun cobweb, meticulously gathered and reinforced with a delicate, almost invisible resin. Its bowl is a shallow, shimmering mesh, and its handle is a slender, ethereal thread. This, you realize, is a whisper spoon, used in a highly secretive, almost mystical ritual, perhaps for receiving or transmitting delicate, unspoken messages, symbolizing the fragility and fleeting nature of secrets. You note its spun cobweb material and its shimmering, ethereal appearance. Spun cobweb, shimmering, whisper secret ritual. You imagine a shadowy figure in a hidden corner of the palace, perhaps a spy or a conspirator, using this ethereal spoon to receive a coded message. Its delicate material, a metaphor for the intricate web of intrigue that often permeated the Byzantine court. It's a truly unsettling object, a tangible link to the darker, more covert aspects of imperial power and politics. Historians still debate the extent of espionage and secret communications in Byzantium. This spoon, you realize, offers a unique and rather chilling piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You briefly consider if anyone ever accidentally sneezed on it. Disaster. A peculiar spoon catches your eye next. It's made of solid, polished salt, carved into a simple, elegant form. Its bowl is shallow, and its handle is a smooth, unadorned curve. It feels surprisingly all to the touch, and you can detect a faint, salty aroma. This, you surmise, is a ceremonial cleansing spoon, used in purification rituals, symbolizing purity and the removal of impurities, meant to dissolve away after its sacred purpose. You meticulously describe its salt material and its cool, polished finish. Solid salt, ceremonial cleansing purification. You imagine a Byzantine priest or a devout individual carefully using this spoon to sprinkle holy water or to consume a symbolic pinch of salt as part of a ritual of spiritual renewal, its gradual dissolution symbolizing the washing away of sin. It's a profound object, a tangible link to the deep religious beliefs and purification practices that were central to Byzantine life. You wonder if anyone ever tried to season their food with it. Probably, and it would have been quite salty. As the pre-dawn light grows stronger, painting the eastern sky with pale washes of rose and gold, you encounter a spoon that is entirely made of meticulously sculpted and frozen breath. It's astonishingly delicate, almost invisible, its surface shimmering with microscopic ice crystals. It's impossible for it to have truly survived, existing only in legend. This, you decide, is a mythical wish-granting spoon, a symbolic object of ancient folklore, said to appear only in moments of profound desire, its fleeting existence tied to the very breath of a wish. You record its frozen breath material and its ephemeral, mythical nature. Frozen breath, mythical, wish-granting. You imagine a Byzantine child or a dreamer whispering their deepest wish onto this impossibly delicate spoon, watching it shimmer and then dissolve, carrying their hopes into the ether. It's a beautiful, poetic object, a tangible link to the folklore and magical beliefs that permeated Byzantine society, a world where the ordinary and the extraordinary often intertwined. Historians still debate the extent of popular magical beliefs in Byzantium. This spoon, you realize, offers a truly unique, if entirely symbolic, piece of evidence in that ongoing discussion. You lean back, a profound sense of awe settling over you. The sheer imagination and artistry that went into the creation of these spoons, even the utterly ephemeral and mythical ones, is truly remarkable. Your meticulous work, you realize, is not just cataloging. It's preserving the very dreams and fleeting desires of a lost civilization, one whispered spoon at a time. It's a strangely beautiful and deeply satisfying endeavor. The mythical wish-granting spoon, a shimmering whisper of ancient desires, now exists only within the final, meticulously filled pages of your ledger. The antechamber is now bathed in the soft, diffused light of a new day, the first sounds of the waking palace beginning to filter through the thick stone walls. You stretch, a deep, bone-weary stretch that signals the completion of your monumental task. The last remaining oil in your lamp flickers, casts a final, dancing shadow, and then dies, plunging the room into a gentle, natural light. Your work for now is done. You pick up your quill for the very last time, the familiar weight a comforting presence in your hand. You unroll a fresh, clean sheet of parchment, its surface pristine, awaiting the final summary of your epic undertaking. You begin to write, your hand steady, your script neat and precise, recording the total number of spoons catalogued, the staggering diversity of materials, the astonishing breadth of their purposes. You note the recurring themes: the love of opulence, the meticulous attention to detail, the pervasive influence of religion, the quiet persistence of ancient beliefs, the practicalities of daily life, and the surprising, often whimsical, expressions of human creativity. You reflect on the sheer volume of human experience that these humble objects represent. Each spoon, no matter how grand or how simple, has been a silent witness to countless meals, shared laughter, whispered secrets, solemn rituals, and the quiet routines of daily existence. They are not just artifacts. They are conduits to the past, miniature time capsules preserving the essence of a lost empire. You, the humble bureaucrat, have become their chronicler, giving voice to their silent stories, ensuring that their existence and the lives they touched are not forgotten. You realize that this seemingly mundane task has transformed you. You came to this antechamber a simple cataloger, burdened by a meticulous but uninspiring duty. But now, you leave it a silent historian, a connoisseur of forgotten narratives, with a profound appreciation for the intricate tapestry of human civilization, woven together one spoon at a time. The world of spoons, you've discovered, is a microcosm of the world itself, reflecting all its complexities, its beauty, its strangeness, and its enduring humanity. You carefully roll up your completed ledgers, tying them with a thin leather cord. The GHT of them in your arms is substantial, a testament to the immense labor you have undertaken. These are not just books of numbers and descriptions. They are volumes of silent history, waiting for future generations to unlock their secrets. You imagine scholars centuries from now, poring over your meticulous entries, marveling at the dedication of the Byzantine bureaucrat who catalogued every spoon in the palace. Your legacy, you realize, is etched not in stone but in ink, and in the quiet, enduring presence of these countless spoons. As you prepare to leave the antechamber, your eyes sweep across the now empty table where the spoons had rested, then to the shelves where your completed ledgers are now neatly stacked. A faint, almost imperceptible scent of old metal, beeswax, and dried herbs lingers in the air, a ghostly aroma of the countless stories you have uncovered. You turn and walk out of the room, leaving the antechamber to its quiet solitude, its secrets now carefully, meticulously preserved. The light of the new day beckons, and you carry with you not just the knowledge of spoons, but a deeper understanding of the vast, intricate, and endlessly fascinating world that was Byzantium. Your mind, though tired, feels a sense of quiet accomplishment, a profound satisfaction in a duty not merely discharged, but embraced and transformed. You have seen the empire one spoon at a time, and it has, in turn, revealed itself to you. So as you drift off, imagine those quiet palace corridors, illuminated by the flickering lamps, and that lone bureaucrat meticulously counting and describing each utensil. Think of the whispers of history clinging to every golden handle, every worn wooden bowl. The empire, in all its vastness, was made of countless small details, meticulously kept, quietly preserved. And in the heart of it all, a dedicated soul ensuring that even the most humble spoon found its rightful place in the annals of time. Let the rhythm of his quiet diligence, the soft rustle of parchment, and the gentle clinking of forgotten cutlery lull you into a peaceful slumber. Rest easy, knowing that even in the grand sweep of history, no spoon was left uncounted, no detail overlooked. Sleep now and dream of perfectly organized cutlery drawers.